WIIFTBPM.
WIIFTBP. Media's just for you and me. WIIFTBP. Media's just for you and me.
Shop at Black-owned and operated Solo Beauty, where you are appreciated and respected. Located at 8158 South Cottage Grove, Solo Beauty can supply all of your black hair care needs. Solo Beauty is open from 11 a.m. to 8 p.m., Tuesday through Saturday.
Jackson. If you could make up a social media holiday, what would it be?
Randy said National Don't Let No One Put You Down Day.
No one. What you gonna do? So when they say something crazy, you slap them?
Be like me said. Randy said a Jukathon Day.
Man, we're about 60 years old. I'd be done had a heart.
You gotta get your heart rate up.
Okay, not that far.
Yeah. All right, Mario said my favorite one. My friends and I do what we call National Call Off from Work Day.
As a business owner, I don't. You don't like that? Yeah. I don't like that.
Because I'm the boss of this thing.
We got Marcus Garvey Day from Remy too.
Oh, Marcus Garvey Day. All right, what will we do on Marcus Garvey Day?
Call off from work.
I'm going to need you to go ahead and come in tomorrow. That would be great. Okay?
Yeah, right. Well, every black holiday has something to do with calling off from work.
You're cool. I'm out.
How about National Join a Positive Black Organization Day? Because I don't want to be recruited. I don't want to be recruited and the brothers be like, thank you. Thank you. How about National Tell White People the Truth Day? Tell them how you really feel.
You can't handle the truth.
Why don't we call that National Black People Get Locked Up Day?
I'm going to tell them there's an African-American man threatening my life.
Hello.
The most dangerous show in the morning.
No. Ooh. Pressing, ooh.
Drop top cruising, old school music, old school juicy. Gotta make my way to you. Pull up on that ass like, ooh. I wanna take you to New York, Chicago, LA, Houston, down all over London, Paris, the A to B, everywhere. I'll take you downtown, girl. Show you all the kind of things in life. I wanna take you downtown. Show you all the kind of things in life. I wanna take you down. I wanna take you down. I wanna take you downtown, girl. Show you all the kind of things in life. I wanna take you downtown. Show you all the kind of things in life.
Lake Shore, I made sure to make sure, yeah, that my place yours, yeah. 28th floor, yeah, 8 thoughts, yeah, all 8 yours, yeah, cake for dessert, but I ate yours.
I wanna take you to New York, Chicago, LA, Houston, down all over London, Paris, the A, the Bay, everywhere, fly all over. Your last boy couldn't give you what you asked for. Your last boy didn't even know. I'm gonna take you downtown, girl. Show you all the kind of things in life. I wanna take you downtown. Show you all the kind of things in life. I wanna take you down. 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 I wanna take you downtown, girl. Show you all the kind of things in life. I wanna take you downtown. Show you all the kind of things in life.
Yeah, man. Ideas,
You don't have to find me. I'm walking right behind you. It's so clear to see that you want to be free. You don't have to find me. I'm walking right behind you. It's so clear to see that you want to be free.
Let's go.
Standing my ground, I can't mess around. It's like my time is in a bottle, captured by your love, babe. Now I know women's got this thing going on. We can't stay around so long, but I wanna come correct. Baby, get your foot off my neck. You don't have to find me. I'm walking right behind you. Understand clearly that you wanna be free. It's the time that you spend making me think within. It's the trust still beginning. Fade away from beginning of the day. I can see you trembling times, and I can see you wondering mine. Is it me considered? You that's with it. See, you don't have to find me. I'm walking right behind you. It's so clear to see, baby, that you wanna be free. You don't have to find me. I'm walking right behind you. It's so clear to see that you wanna be free, yeah. I'm just trying to be the best I can. You can call me the troubling man. Matter of fact, I'm from the side of the street. Baby girl, you're calling on me. At the time that I feel the presence around me, something that I can't let go is your time, everything around me there. I just wanna hold on, but you don't have to find me. I'm walking right behind me. It's so clear to see that you wanna be free. I just wanna come correct best I can. Baby, get your foot on my neck. And just before you just leave, baby, I've been trying to tell you I can't breathe. You don't have to find me, baby, baby, walking right behind me. Oh, so clear to see that you want me free. Down pressure, baby. I just want pressure, baby.
WIFTVPM.
You are listening to the most dangerous show in the morning. This is What's in It for the Black People Radio. Maze Jackson. Maze Jackson, the most vociferous advocate for black people in the world.
For Ruthie Moore, for Todd Stoger, I am the host of the Maze Jackson Show, asking every single day, what's in it for the black people? And if you don't like it, you can still tell them Maze said, Mayor Lightfoot, man, we ain't accepting that. We ain't accepting that. Let's go.
Yeah. Let's get down to business and go ahead and address the facts, man. Lightfoot seems more lesbian than black. Rahm Emanuel's another case. He was just as tired. 50 closed schools left much to be desired. Police had Anjanette naked on that body cam. They suppressed the footage so it couldn't touch a lot of hands. Reminds me of that 16 shots in that cover up. Both of them similar, so I went and dug it up. George Floyd killed, a lot of riots happened in the town. Southside burned and they wouldn't let them bridges down. Grandmother sick, need a prescription and plus a couple groceries. You gon' have to travel just to get it now. COVID-19 out here shutting all the business down. Not enough SBA loans to even give around. So many failed businesses that you can put them in the pile. If you don't survive the pandemic, it's gonna sit you down. We sing, dance, play ball, entertain, and crack jokes. Government infested black neighborhoods with crack smoke. System that milked us so bad, we got lactose. Still trying to find out what's in it for us black folks. We sing, dance, play ball, entertain, and crack jokes. Government infested black neighborhoods with crack smoke. System that milked us so bad, we got lactose. Still trying to find out what's in it for us black folks. Shout out to Willie Wilson, hope one day you get to send it. We need some different players in the game to handle business. Too many shady characters like Madigan and Blago. But when you really break it down, it's typical Chicago. City full of gangsters, it's what the land was built on. Same streets with hood legends, DNA gets spilled on. Carjackers out here lurking, trying to get they steal on. Looking for a block to put them Hellcat wheels on. Let this give bogus appraisals a red line. Car crackers out here getting minimal fair time. And up to seal carry, I stay with the pipe. For Illinois gun laws giving minimal rights. Stay up on the swivel, make sure I'm moving tight. Check all of my mirrors when I pull up to the light. Pick my homie up from out of town, man, he caught a flight. He was hella nervous, told him, shorty, this a way of life. We sing, dance, play ball, entertain, and crack jokes. Government infested black neighborhoods with crack smoke. System that milked us so bad, we got lactose. Still trying to find out what's in it for us black folks. We sing, dance, play ball, entertain, and crack jokes. Government infested black neighborhoods with crack smoke. System that milked us so bad, we got lactose. Still trying to find out what's in it for us black folks.
Wake up, Chicago! Wake up, world. This is the Maze Jackson Show. I'm your host, Maze Jackson. Got my co-host in the building, Miss Ruthie Moore. Ruthie Moore, how you feeling today?
Yo.
Uh-oh. That's the in-between Monday.
It's Monday.
It's a Monday with a smile, though.
It's kind of warm outside.
It's you know what?
I base my mood off the weather.
Oh, shoot.
I know.
Oh, Lord.
I know.
Oh, Lord.
So cold.
Ruthie,
so cold.
Oh, Ruthie, now when it get cold outside.
I may be going to have to have some conversations.
Good Lord. You trying to zoom in? You know, Ruthie already making like Zoom requests and stuff, talk about some, why we even got to come in here? You know it's technology. We don't have to be up in this place. We could just do some Zoomery.
Just hologram me in, man.
No, Ruthie, no.
To tell you, we got to get with the times.
Ruthie, that's the problem with the times. Y'all so daggone electronically connected.
You know the world of work is remote.
That's the problem, though.
No, it's not. That's not a problem.
That's why people ain't got no damn friends. Everybody want to stay home, don't want to be social, don't want to have good old time.
People want to be social, just probably don't want to be social with the people at work.
Oh, okay. I can honor that. I could definitely honor that. All right, Reis. Ruthie. Well, let's do this. Let's say what's up to Reis too, because he in the building, Mr. DJ Reis the Ruler. Mr. Business in the front, party in the back. I done got the screens all mixed up.
So please put him on camera.
Hold on, because Reis.
Put him on camera.
Hold on. Let me switch up, because Reis will be next thing he'll turn his camera off and talk about something. See, there you go. See, already ready. All right, y'all. It's the Maze Jackson Show. DJ Reis the Ruler. How you feeling? Hey, man, that don't sound kind of right.
I had a weekend, but I'm blessed by the best. The rest. I just been moving, but I'm good, man. I'm good. I'm like Ruthie. Today is Monday.
Early.
Yeah, it feel like I was just here.
Early in the morning.
It feel like I was just here. Like I was like, is it Friday again already? Like,
was you just here? Yeah. Was you here yesterday?
I'm here every day but Saturday.
Hey, man.
Dang, that's a lot of days.
Every day but Saturday.
Okay, so we're going to want to cancel. Reis want me to fire all the Sunday people. I'm going to tell all the Sunday people they fired.
You got to hologram yourself in, Reis?
Nah, he can't hologram them buttons, man.
Yeah.
I bet there's a way.
I bet you better not even think about it. No, Hey, Reis, well, let me let you know we appreciate you, man. Did you work 3 jobs this weekend, too? How'd you do it? What'd you do this weekend? Did you do only two? I was like, dang, you know what? And that's probably only 2, because I was like, yesterday, we got to take a day off the Bears, Joe. I'm like, y'all done ran me all the way into the ground. All the way. And then I had to drive. My son was driving this weekend, so, I was
amazed.
Yeah, he got his permit. He already 16. Ooh. And it's like, the problem for me with the car is that it's like once they got the car, they gone.
Babes, I got an idea.
Uh-oh.
You should let me and Reis do these like scenarios.
No.
Think of this. We could do them in the parking lot. We ain't got to be really on the streets, but you should let us like role play some stuff with your son and put him in these high pressure driving situations.
You should have seen him when he hit 290 yesterday.
Right, we're going to start him right now. Be like, listen here, if you stop at a liquor store and it's gas station.
That is not what I was talking about.
See? The gas station, you go to another one.
That is not what I was talking about.
Right here next to this gas.
Well, let me tell you. Actually, it is a chat. It's tough watching him, because it's really like my daughter was different, because she was just a zipper around her, mover. You just knew she was like, look, yo, as soon as she was like, get me in the car, let me do it, let me go, let me blah. My son is super chill. And it's like, he been used to he don't really go a lot of places. He ain't like kicking. If it ain't the gym, he ain't really like super like trying to get there. Mm-hmm. It's like, now if it's the gym, he'll be, and really I want him to have the car so he could go to the gym. So I don't have to get up, so he can unlock the door. Y'all can run up and down that bad boy all day long. But Ruthie, I will tell you that driving with him, and then you should have seen him. So we did Lakeshore Drive. I was trying to ease him up. Then when we made that turn and we hit
290 or something.
290. Well, I took him off though. I took him off because I thought it was gonna be Bears traffic. So I said, let's pull off at 39th. So we took off 39th. We came around. We stopped here. We checked in. We just missed y'all, apparently. Right? We had just missed y'all from leaving here because you know how you can feel the heat leaving the room? Like you can still smell.
What time did you make it in here?
I don't know exactly what time. Like maybe, what time was it? So maybe 10:30, 40-ish, something like that.
Yeah, we left about like.
Right, like somewhere between 10:30 and 11.
Yeah, we left like 10:15.
So I could still smell the presence.
I'm sorry about that.
You had gas. Yeah, I was no. Reis. Actually, Reis be coming in here. Reis is one of them almost fill up the room smell people. You know how some people that they leave and it be like the room stay with whatever they brought. Riis got like it's like just when you think it might be too much, it be like, all right, it went away. So Riis has mastered the in between. So I could tell y'all was here. Then I could feel the spirit of the Lord was in the room.
You felt the spirit.
I could felt the spirit when I came in church Chicago. I felt a little vibe a little earlier because it was I did, I don't. Hey, that was my frat brother in here yesterday. Did you look Donnie Maxey?
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Pretty cool guy.
Donnie is a cool guy. He, I was like the old school, like when the world was changing and they would all be mad at me because I'd be like, wait, hold on. I come in the room tearing stuff up like, hold on.
Oh, you didn't check your check today, huh?
Huh?
You didn't check your check today, huh?
Why?
Oh, man, I don't know. I'm just saying.
Oh, I saw it in the chair. I'm doing like Riis. I ain't turning on my camera. No, I seen it. Look, they tried to give me 2 shirts so I could act like they didn't play me. They like, it's 2 weeks in a row.
I only got 1, so.
Right, you got the first one, though. It's like everything else is like, yo. Oh, man. Like I feel like if it didn't, did they send Ruthie one?
That's Ruthie's.
Is that Ruthie's in there?
No.
Bennett ain't in it.
Okay.
You see how you do it?
I don't got no expectations.
See me either.
Aim low, you won't be disappointed.
Oh,
that would be cool if we all had one though. That would.
We wouldn't all wear it on the show at the same time though. Now because we came from, man.
Oh, see, look now.
I'm turning my camera off. I'm do like y'all turn my camera off. I'm gonna do like y'all millennials. Nope, ain't no camera time. All right, y'all. This is the Maze Jackson Show. I'm your host, Maze Jackson. That's my guy, DJ Riis the Rilla. Plus, we got the co-host, Ruthie Moore in the building. Looks like we all locked and loaded. Hey, Ruthie, I'm just telling you, this the last week for Todd on the picture. If Todd don't show up today, if he don't make appearance today, I'm just telling y'all now.
The countdown.
Cause no. See, I saw pictures of Todd at the St. Ignatius golf outing.
He was networking.
That mean that he didn't go to work though, right?
It got working in it.
Okay. All right, so, okay.
This the last week?
No,
or the last day?
This is my problem, right? See? So this what happened. When you plug people, then they forget you plugged them and then go around and they be super fancy and they be fancy with everybody else be like, oh yeah. You forgot how you never forget how you got to the dance. Never.
Which one of the laws of power is that?
That's the maze power.
That's the maze law.
That's the maze law, Joe. It's like, I'm telling you, people be like, hold on. You mean I got this good old fancy job, I got all this stuff, and now I'm going to the golf outing? I ain't even called to be like, I ain't coming.
I thought that was his jacket over there.
No, that's mine. It's my vest. And it's like, don't worry though. It's okay. Cause
what's crazy is every day I come in, there's more and more stuff
piled on that
spot. It's paper towels.
Well, you see, first of all, he felt a certain way when he came in here, and he literally thought, like when he thought he came and sat in the chair, he looked and you was sitting there, he was like, oh, y'all wasn't playing, huh? Hey man, that's how people do you though. They want you to hold everything. It be like on everybody else turn. That's okay though. Y'all gonna find out about me one day. Y'all gonna appreciate me one day. That's okay. It's the Maze Jackson Show. Play my violins, man. No, I'm just playing. All right, y'all. Riis, let's get this thing up to 60,000 feet. Let's get it up and away. Let me run through some of the headlines. Whatever you do, Riis, do not fly by Cleveland. Do not fly by Cleveland because we left our quarterback on the ground in Cleveland, Joe. 9 sacks. Justin Fields' era began with 9 sacks. I got to say that's Matt Nagy. I got to say at some point you got to adjust. At some point, you got to say Peters is not the move, and I don't care if you put 2 tight ends or you line up a tight end on the left tackle and you say, okay, we're going to stop. We cannot shatter.
Shotgun,
something.
I was confused, he was like literally watching them come off the edge and not even get hit, just running straight to our quarterback. It looked real bad out there, man.
Hey, Ruthie, did you find out if he had a white girlfriend or not yet?
Oh.
Because I figured out to decide whether you care or not, right? Whether he got crashed or not, because Justin Fields is getting body slammed. And I got to say this, man. I'm starting to feel like Khalil Mack is like Jay Cutler revisited. Like, remember when we got Jay Cutler and we was like all on this super high, and he got us like, you know, he kept giving us those bumps where we'd be like, yes, you can see flashes, but he never returned to being himself. Or not being himself, but what we thought we was going to get, like when we got him from Denver. I'm starting to feel that way about Khalil Mack. Remember when there was a comparison between him and Aaron Donald? And now you don't even, they be like, Aaron Donald could be the best ever. We be like, Khalil who? And it was $100 million guaranteed. And that dude got he be pulling up to the gas station on Roosevelt in his Bentley. I mean, not Bentley, in his Rolls Royce. I'd be like, hey, Joe. Then you got hurt. He knew he needed to get back in that game yesterday, though. Because I'm just here to tell you. He was hobbling, but I was going to be, I don't want no problem. I don't know if it's the front office, Joe. Because I feel like they done made some moves to get some players. I think your coach, I think we got the trickery gimmick, and now I'm starting to worry about, man, I was listening to a sports show yesterday, Riis, and they was talking about how maybe it wasn't Mitch. Right, like maybe Nagy is just the ruiner of quarterbacks.
Maybe
oh no, because he sure came back.
They need to upgrade the stadium. That's why they was playing so horribly.
Oh, but they about to do. Speaking of that,
don't upgrade the stadium. They don't get paid. I mean, they rent that stadium out.
hey, Ruthie. That's why the Bears moving though. Like if I was the Bears, I'd move. I mean, I'm just saying. If you've ever been to like a sports stadium complex, like where they got everything, like if you go to Dallas, you'll be like
missing out.
Oh, wait. You mean I don't have to leave to go to dinner?
The Bears just trying to get sports betting.
Well, no, but no. They need more than sports betting. I'm with you.
That's what they want. What's the future? The future is, think about how these black people during the uprisings almost shut down the NFL. Almost shut it down. They can't rely on y'all. So they like, what's the next thing? Sports betting.
I'm with you on the sports betting, but I think it's
it's about to be virtual. NFL gonna be, it's all gonna be virtual. People gonna be doing video gaming instead of watching NFL, and they gonna be sports betting on it. Market. I said it. Telling y'all what it is. It's sports betting, video gaming, sports betting.
My son be sitting around watching people play video games. I be like, wait, hold on.
Just wait until sports betting catches up with it.
Hold on. You mean to tell me you're sitting in your room watching two human beings play video game like it's a sporting event? Okay. But high schools are now starting to have teams. And they're saying colleges are recruiting. HBCUs and all colleges are recruiting teams. Ruthie, I don't doubt you on that. I mean, when it comes to the technology stuff, I got to watch you. Because, you know, you be, just like when you sent me that article, I was snoozing on your little article.
It was long though, right?
No, Ruthie, it really wasn't long, millennial. It was more than 180 characters, but it really wasn't that long. Oh my God. God, don't get the kids a copy of the New Yorker. They'll be like, what do you mean 15,000 words? I'm not reading 15,000 words. This is untenable. Ruthie was like, it was kind of long. I was like, I was looking for more. I'm trying to find it in between the articles, and you like, it was long, right? No. I was like, give me more. Oh, God, Ruthie.
But that was from like 2011. It was kind of old.
Oh, so they know what's up now. Okay, Ruthie gave me a, like, Dad, I don't appreciate that. That's crazy. How about, did you see Nancy Pelosi was in town yesterday? So everybody went. I didn't get a chance to ask Carrie if she asked him about the Haitians. But I did ask on Facebook yesterday, did anybody ask her? Alderman Jason Irvin said he did ask. Someone did ask about Haiti. But he just put yes, period. I need the answer. What y'all asked? And what did she say? Right? Because it's like, here go my thing. I think she has a standard answer for Haiti. Mm-hmm. It's a terrible tragedy what's happening in Haiti, and we are allocating resources across the federal, and we're moving very fast, and we're working with the Black Caucus to ship them ninjas back to their own country.
That last part.
Right. It's like everybody like, look, did you get your selfie? I'm sorry, I'm probably going to be in trouble for that one, but I'm just telling y'all, it's like, the reason these people don't be doing nothing is because they be like, how can I feel good about myself? Mm-hmm. Let me go find some black people.
Oh.
Like, seriously.
How you feeling today? You okay?
I'm feeling good, man. I just feel like Ruthie. I'm running out of time.
You just over it.
I'm just over all of it, right? Like it's like the stuntery, the whole like everybody is just like
it's like P versus Rain.
I don't ever want to live through that comparison. Oh God, because if somebody was peeing up, let me stop. Ruthie, this is just.
I'm with you though.
It's like
at this point, it's just like
it's like, and I'm not tripping because I will put the picture in my book to say I did it. But like real talk, if y'all come in here to like I'm not you whipping me up about the Republicans and the Democrats and the whole like I done got my butt kicked more in this town by Democrats than any type of anything nationally that done ever happen. I have. And it's like the black people, I just, I be like, these black, we be taking pictures with the white people, and they be like, look at me, I was visiting the natives. They like taking safari pictures and we take it like, look, man, please.
Safari pictures.
I'm saying.
Hey, some of them be big game pictures.
Speaking of safari, speaking of safari pictures, Jersey had her birthday party.
How old is she?
1. She had the Jersey's Wild One party. Let me just tell you, that grandbaby of mine. Whew, I gotta show y'all some pictures, and my daughter clearly got her dad's sense of stuntery. Cause that party, I was like, what? Who? You hired a decorate? What happened to cake and ice cream and the tricycles on the round and round at McDonald's? Oh no, Ruthie.
What, no play, huh?
Ruthie. This was like Instagram worthy.
Oh, you gotta show me some pictures.
Okay. It's the Maze Jackson Show. Look, let's take a quick break and then we're gonna come back and we'll talk some more. It is the Maze Jackson Show. Maze, Ruthie, and Riis will be back.
The Maze Jackson Show will be back after this break.
WIIFTV PM.
Church Chicago's Power Hour. I'm your host, Angie Mims, and
Terrence Keys, TD, a.k.a. Terrence Daniels.
I wish I had one witness in the house.
You got one. You got a couple of them. Got two T's.
Give me a testimony.
Oh, Lord. He's did it before. Oh, Lord. I got one. I'm better. I got 5 reasons. 5 reasons. Oh, Lord. He turned it around. Turn it around. He woke me up this morning. Oh. Don't do this. Go number
ahead.
4? He woke me up this morning. Come on, number 3. He woke me up. Oh, Lord.
He woke you up.
That thing can touch you. One of them 5s will get you. What's the second one? He woke me up. Yes, sir.
Oh, my God.
And the number 1 reason. Number 1. Final answer. He woke me up this morning.
He woke me up this morning.
That's a testimony.
That's a testimony.
And now, traffic and weather.
Good morning. What's in it for the Black People Media family? The time is now 6:34 a.m. and I'm Riis the Ruler with your Chicagoland area sports, traffic, and weather update. Today in traffic, from O'Hare to the Loop on the Kennedy is 24 minutes. Outbound to O'Hare will be 23 on the Eden. Inbound from Deerfield to the Exchange is 29 minutes. Exchange back to Deerfield will be 27 on the Eisenhower. Thorndale to the Loop is 39 minutes. Back out to Thorndale will be 30. The Stevenson from I-355 to the Dan Ryan is 33 minutes. Outbound will be 32. The Bishop Ford from I-80 to the Dan Ryan will be 41 minutes, 29 minutes back out to I-80. The Dan Ryan is 21 minutes to the Loop, 16 minutes back out to 95th. DuSable, Lakeshore Drive, 7 minutes on the south side of things. That's 55th to Jackson, as well as Jackson to 55th, and 8 minutes north. Randolph to Bryn Mawr, and Bryn Mawr back to Randolph. Today's weather is currently 66 and clear. Today will be a high of 84 with a low of 64. I'm Riis the Ruler. Now here's Sparkle with Ease on the Maze Jackson Show.
You see me, you see him, my best friend. He hold me down like ankles fighting the waves. A partner to my crime, yeah, I do time. Till I'm with you, I be counting the days. Yeah, ooh, been through so many things, but we always get through. Yeah, ooh, it ain't always perfect, but it's worth it. This is deeper than the surface. If I said I didn't love you, you would not know I've been frontin'. Wiped all my scars away like it was nothing. Took the parts of me I tried to hide to make them something, something. Like it was nothing. Ooh, something about you, baby. Ooh, you know you drive me crazy. Ooh, you give me peace of mind. Ooh, let me tell you why. You make it easy. Say, to take it easy. Say, feel so weak. Say, easy to love. Say, to take it easy. Say, feel so weak. Say, easy to love. I never thought that I would give it to you, but now I don't think it's the time. I won't do it. I think it's cause the way you talk to me, know how to say it without making me feel little. You're gracious even when you pop off on me. When you get done, I got a little something to drop off on you. Because you earned it with the time you took to put it that way. You got me liking to get put in my place. If I said I didn't love you, you and I know I've been frontin'. Wiped all my scars away like it was nothing. Took the parts of me I tried to hide to make them something, something. Like it was nothing. Ooh, something about you, baby. Ooh, you know you drive me crazy. Ooh, you give me peace of mind. Ooh, let me tell you why. You make it easy. Say, to take it easy. Say, feel so easy. Say, easy to love. Easy to you make it easy. Say, to take it easy. Say, feel so weak. Say, easy to love. You make it easy. You make it easy. You make it easy.
Back to the Maze Jackson Show. You are listening to the most dangerous show in the morning. This is What's in It for the Black People Radio. Maze Jackson. Maze Jackson, the most vociferous advocate for black people in the world.
People, cause economically we are not equal. Waking up to lies, can't toast no more. I told y'all, yeah, this a dangerous show. Don't go to church if you ain't trying to help us. Don't even try to be around and can't protect us. We see the lies, not other politicians. We need money and no symbolism. It's Maze and Riis, and Ruthie and Todd, explaining how we all come from God, giving us tools to beat the odds. If we united, our movement gon' stop. If they ain't trying to help us, they ain't trying to do nothing. We gotta do something, we gotta stop running. It's time to confront the problem. Really, you expect, you oppress us all.
Wake up, Chicago! Wake up, world! This is the Maze Jackson Show. I'm your host, Maze Jackson. Ruthie in here getting me ticked off. Good Lord! I was like,
we shall overcome.
Well, okay, Ruthie. I was like, oh.
You know what one of the best feelings in the world is really having family you can depend on. Like, how you know, like, if you just, you know, kind of fall or like mess up, you got people that got your back. It's a good feeling, and I think sometimes we don't really recognize it until we like fall, and then those people are like there. So appreciate your peoples.
Anyway, Ruthie,
you are appreciated. Straight out of Bolingbrook.
Straight out of Bolingbrook. Y'all see hey, Reese, don't trip.
I was just reading
straight out of what you straight out of Prosser. Straight out of Kankakee. All right, badasses.
Straight out the west side.
Straight out the west side, yes. We're going to talk about that a little bit later, too. All right, y'all. It's the Maze Jackson Show. I'm your host, Maze Jackson. I got my co-host, Ruthie Moore, as well as DJ Riis, the ruler. I'm going to run through some more of these headlines, and then we're going to get into the social media question of the day. Did you see the city revenue returns to fees, fines, and boots? We are up.
I saw it. I saw all the boots.
71% over last year. We're going to talk about that at 7 o'clock because what would you say if I told you that up to this point, the city's made $42 million off of tickets? And that's only half the year, which means that almost $100 million on ticketing.
I can believe it. I done paid a little bit into that.
But wait till you see the boot list and who gets booted. Because that's really an interesting, and it's so ironic in this equity and inclusion era during Mayor Lightfoot's phase. And I almost feel like, y'all, reading that article was like, back to business as usual. We're going to restart and pretend like nothing happened. We're going to talk about that. Northwestern suspends Greek life for 3 weeks. Apparently members of the APES, that's AE Pi, and SAMIs, the Sigma Alpha Epsilon. Can't remember which they were, but the APES are a Jewish fraternity, and the SAEs, they're white guys. They're like the classic white guys. They're the white guys that be singing the hymns downstate, down south, and all of that good stuff. You know, that be like "Return to the Rebel Flag" and all that good stuff.
Gotcha.
Well, apparently at Northwestern, both fraternities were accused of placing drugs in drinks, drugging women during their parties, and so they suspended all of the Greek life. I was just talking about this yesterday, about going through the list of things that I told my daughter when she went to college about what to watch. It's really weird because Ruthie, I feel like that is so, okay, you're going to say it's right, but I feel like that's like straight rape. Like, I feel like I don't even know who condones that, right? Like, it's crazy to me to think that let me just say this. There's never been a time when I was in college, for the most part, that I was not hunting, right? And I might go to the bar. In college, I wouldn't buy you no drink. I might make you some influence, right? We might make some Sigma influence, or, all that stuff. But never, ever have I ever been in a place where somebody was like, ooh, I got an idea. Let's drug the chick. Let's give her these things and then get it. And that's crazy to me. And the thought that anybody even thinks like that is just unbelievable. I do think, now I'm not going to lie, I do think that many fraternity parties, the special drink is loaded, right? But I think people go for the loaded special drink. And if that happened, but I also feel like I just don't know that. I'm not even saying I know that's wrong. I don't know that drinking and kicking it and being wild at fraternity parties and sorority parties is something that needs to go away per se, because I do think it's part of the college experience. The whole concept of date rape, the whole concept of drugging, or it's like that whole, y'all have blurred the lines, quite frankly. Because I think I was listening to Reis' show, and the girl was like, hey, it's going to be a pill. You come to my house, it's going to be a pill in the drink, so you better check what you're drinking. And I was like, wait. You mean to tell me that I could potentially come to your house, have a drink at a party, and in that pill you have deposited I don't even know what kind of pill they was talking about. Y'all done messed up the game, you damn millennials.
I think telling somebody you're doing that versus not telling them makes the difference too, though.
Wait, do people go to parties and put a pill in and everybody be like, pass this and drink it?
People be drinking water.
Water?
I mean, you insert the name of the drug water, and then put water at the end.
Like Molly water, take the Molly, put it in the water, turn the water blue.
But you know what? With the Northwestern thing, because if you look across the country, there's it was at another college. There was protests related to this same very thing. So there's like a movement that's happening against rape culture, particularly on college campuses. And if they got caught the way that they got caught, that means they probably been doing it and they just ain't been getting caught.
Right.
Because that seems like a systemic cultural thing that they've been doing.
Yeah, I do think so too. I think you know what it makes me think of? What's the movie where Remy went crazy? What was the college movie? With Ice Cube, Busta Rhymes. Remember? And old girl got in there and Remy got
Fishburg and what is it?
Higher Learning.
Higher
Learning, and the girl got See,
you know what that is, Ruthie? Higher Learning.
Yeah, I've seen it.
You saw it, okay. What else we got on the list? Chicago rally for the Haitian immigrants at the south border. Shout out to Patrick Brutus and all of the Haitian groups that came together to organize a march. I was thinking maybe they should have invited her to. Nancy Pelosi should have stopped and talked to her while she was here. I know I'm just a pain in the ass. I'm sorry. Shout out to Patrick for organizing that and standing up for his community. Hey, yo, I'm just telling y'all, though, y'all got to get it right. Y'all got to get it right, because I'm telling you, we be in this conundrum. You know, people be sitting back watching, be like, those dang on A doses. Now it's H doses. Now it might be Hados.
What's that?
Haitian American.
Oh, got it.
Haitian Haitian American Hados. This is a coalition. We need a Hados coalition. But we got to figure out what we getting out the coalition, though, right? Because you know, brother. Somebody said you don't see too many. I haven't seen too many other people standing up for this. Like, why we running up the hill and they not? That's why I was glad to see Patrick had that rally yesterday, because it sure is kind of quiet in the Haitian community.
But you know what? You know who I need to step up? I need the Latino community to be stepping up for the Haitians.
They were speaking up for the Haitians on TV because they want to keep them in the immigrant group, not the black group. They was on Channel 11.
That's what I'm saying.
See? How y'all be doing? All right, I'm going to leave that be. How about this one? The police riffed over the Serenity Broughton. Did you read that story? About how the police didn't charge, and then they uncharged the guy who they said murdered the 7-year-old girl. Remember, it was the two girls this summer over in Belmont Cragen. One got shot, the other one got killed. They were their mom was putting them in the car.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Well, apparently the police wanted to charge someone, and then went around the state's attorney to do it, and then they uncharged. The state's attorney had him uncharged. Mm-hmm. Now the guy that they charged was at home on house arrest, but now they can't find him after this shooting. It's crazy, man. How about the Chinese move on Bridgeport? Did y'all see that? The Chinese said that they want Bridgeport. Mm-hmm. We gotta talk about that. Now that's gonna be interesting to see. If Chinese, I would be interested to see, will the Chinese be able to take Bridgeport? So just so you know, the last time the Bridgeport crew ousted one of the Eddie Acevedo in exchange to make his district, which was once a Latino district, into a Chinese American district, and they put Teresa Ma in that spot. Oh. Now, that was the deal, though. Like, they gave up the Latino who was part of their HDO creation, and then now they're on the block. So the same thing they did to somebody 10 years ago, now the Asian Americans are saying, why don't we just take this whole Bridgeport? Could you imagine if Bridgeport became Chinatown?
Yes.
Oh, we're going to talk about it.
It's very close.
We're going to talk about it. Because you know what? It's so funny. And what we're going to talk about is...
Culturally, no, though. Culturally, no.
Here's what I'm thinking about. I'm thinking about, when I think of Bridgeport, I still think of Leonard Clark.
Who's that?
Oh! Leonard Clark was the young black man who was riding his bike through Bridgeport, and the white guys from Bridgeport chased him down, beat him down, put him in the hospital. Dad was like a mobster, the whole thing, but it was like the whole who's who of...
I remember that. Okay. Remember that name.
And then they beat him down, and then it was like, oh, we didn't mean to be... Like, it was a classic... Man, you know what? We're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about the changing dynamic. Like, where you grew up, is it still the same? Like, if you grew up on the west side, is it still black? If you grew up in Inglewood, if you grew up in a neighborhood, what is it still black? I want to talk about where is black Chicago now, right? Because it really has changed. It really hit me when they said they were thinking about taking Bridgeport and turning it into Chinatown. Because you got to understand that there was a time when that unthinkable, like anything that had to do with the 11th Ward, which was the home of the Dailies, untouchable. They got the first of everything. You could, like, they could walk in and be like, 1 for us, 2 for you. No, 1 for you, 2 for us. 3 for you, 1, 2, 3 for me. And now we're at a point where could we potentially see the dailies wiped off the map? That would be historic in the course of 10 years. I could not have believed last time that there would have been a runoff. Mm-hmm. Like that in the stronghold, in the daily stronghold, that there would have been a runoff. Like you would have never been able to convince me of that. And so it's interesting to watch as this goes. We're going to talk about this remap and how it's going to work. Are you watching the Book of Canaan?
No.
You don't got. You need to log in.
What is on?
It's on Stars.
Yeah, let me get your login.
Okay, I'm gonna get you my login because you got to check that out.
Book of Canaan.
The Book of Canaan. Are you watching Canaan, Riis? Hey Joe.
Of course.
Hey Joe. 50 Cent done.
It's 50 Cent.
50 with this Power Universe. He done came up on something. Remember I told you I wanted to see some black gangster like, and probably that's probably part of our problem.
I actually like the other one that he just released yesterday too.
BMF?
Yeah.
I thought BMF was interesting. It's going to grow on me. I feel like I ain't necessarily like the Michi character yet. But anyway, just more stuff to watch. But I was just thinking, we pumping more in black mob stuff. Meanwhile, see, white people going to think that's all us. And then they going to be like, shoot him. But I just got to tell y'all got to watch the Book of Canaan. Yesterday was crazy. Hey man, if you did not see it, and you want some good television to watch, it's a lot of learning. Man, Canaan is whack though. He is whack. He is a bum. The dude that 50 Cent was. Did you watch Power?
Mm-mm. Oh, Ruthie. I'm really missing out, huh?
Ruthie.
Yes, you are.
I'm just not the biggest 50 Cent fan.
Me either. But I'm just telling you, it's great to see the black gangsters finally be able to win somewhere.
But he really ain't. Okay.
I know he's soft.
It's just hard. It's just difficult for me to believe. It's just not believable.
He's
enough.
not, but it's not him.
But I see him, and I'm just like this. I give it a chance because y'all are really hyping this up.
Hey, that Book of Canaan, I be screaming at the characters like, you stupid. I can't stand you. Go ahead.
Like you probably a Blanche watcher. Like man, like you got some good watching to get in. Like
yeah, you got a lot of. And if you haven't watched any of the Power,
TV make me sleepy. It's just something that is literally it's just difficult for me.
You watch TV with the lights on or off?
Off.
Oh, well, that's why. I always be like, I try to make the movie like the movie theater, because you got the big TV, so you be trying to make it like the movie theater. But at the movie theater, 30 minutes in, I'm out.
Sleep.
I sleep through the best movies too. I slept through Respect. I paid $20 to watch that.
$20.
Carrie was like, oh, it was good though.
The movie costs $20 now.
Instead of going to the movie theater.
Oh,
look at you,
okay,
millennial. Okay. Yeah, man. Okay. Well, you gotta watch. Well, it ain't. What's beautiful is that it's jukebox. See, and then when I told you I just found out the jukebox was the jukebox from.
Why do you? So,
I didn't realize. I was just now starting to connect the dots though, right? Like, because I've watched the movie. I mean, I watched the Book of Canaan, thinking about Canaan, but not really thinking about all the other characters. And then, because Jukebox wasn't super prominent.
Right. She was only like one season.
Right, she was only in one season. Now, she was ruthless in the one season. And something about how she played this role now, she seemed like a weirdo, but I guess that's the whole point.
Yeah, that's how because if you really think about when you see her character on Power, she, that's really how she like don't trust. You know what I'm saying? Killer be killed. Like grind.
And she was a cop too.
Yeah, but but now, as you can see, you can probably see now how she becomes, like it's time to,
it's unfolding
right now.
You can see the metamorphosis. Yeah. Well, what I was thinking about, we're gonna talk about this too. Did y'all watch Wonder Years? Did y'all like the Black Wonder Years? I didn't like that. I didn't like it. First of all right. So are you watch? No, Ruthie. Oh, that make you sick too.
I'm feeling my type of way about Lee Daniels. I just, it's hard for me to get over things and support and watch stuff when I feel like people ain't right. And I don't like how he did Monique. I don't like how he tried to do Dame Dash.
I don't like him either. I don't like how he turned everybody gay. And I'm just waiting to figure out when they gon'.
Somebody was gay in Wonder Years?
Not yet, but somebody is clearly going to be struggling with it's gonna come. You know it's coming. You know they're gonna be. That's
TV now, and I don't want to say I hate it, but that's TV now.
Yeah, but my point is they're gonna make it. They're gonna weave it into the storyline of the. They didn't do it to the white kid story. They're gonna weave it into ours, and they're gonna make it all good. Now, I didn't like the Wonder Years because it was like, okay, can I just tell y'all? I grew up in Bolingbrook, and it wasn't them big old kumbaya moments where everybody came on the field and was like, oh. During that time when Martin Luther King died, right? Mm-hmm. Like the white folks wasn't like, see, it's like, I feel like Wonder Years now is about to make it, Wonder Years now is trying to repaint white people in that history. Right? So let me give you Black Wonder Years. Let everybody watch it. And then let me tell you that white people weren't all that bad during that time. We were coming together no, we wasn't. Stuff was burning. So now you're going to throw a rock at the... I'm a Don Cheadle fan, but when I saw Don Cheadle in that movie, in the series on Showtime, and he had to give... Matt Damon what they call it for the ladies when they,
top.
Something. I don't know. You figure out a millennial safe word, but some kind of way, part of the movie, when Don Cheadle, it was the ultimate make you wear the dress, right? So there was this scene where, and I used to super love Don Cheadle. I can't remember the show where he was the consultant on Stars, not the one where he's the dope fiend. So anyway, y'all remember the scene where it was like he was trying to close the deal, and the whole joke was about how in Hollywood they got to take your masculinity for you to go. And so Matt Damon was like literally in the show, it was like Matt Damon said, "Come over, hey man, just get on your knees and give it to me. Just do it. Just get on your knees and do it and give it to me. It's no big deal. Everybody does it in Hollywood." And it's like, and then it cuts.
It's supposed to be a joke.
No, it was a real scene because he was trying to land. He was trying to land Matt Damon as a client. And so Matt said, "You really want me?
Do you really want
it? Do you really want it? Then come over here and
top."
And then they don't show it, but then he like an hour, it goes black, and he come back and he signed Matt Damon. And it was like, yeah, Don. Now, remember when he was Mouse in Devil in a Blue Dress? That's where I was like, man, I swear Don Cheadle was the man. Then I'm going to tell you, Don Cheadle lost me in the midst of all of the Trayvon stuff, when he was like the whole Trans Lives Matter shirts in the middle of...
That was Don Cheadle?
Yes. And I'm not tripping, but it was in the midst of all these black people getting killed. Yeah, Don. And I like Don Cheadle because he's a great actor and all that stuff. But yeah, Joe, when he did that, I was like, Don. Like, how you go... Like, they took one of the most gangster characters ever. Because when he played Mouse wasn't taking nothing from no white people, no kind of way. Did you see Devil in a Blue Dress? Huh?
Of course.
Remember when he was Mouse? He was gangster. He was gangster than a mug. Okay, Beulah, he is a great actor, but I'm sorry, I'm not going on TV acting like I blue dude. That to me was, because at that point, like, Don Cheadle was moving into the what's them Superman? Not Superman. Iron Man stories, and he was becoming like he went from a regular superstar to like superstar, and
he replaced Terrence Howard.
I'm Illuminati.
But you see what he had to do to replace him.
But Terrence said, "I ain't going."
Illuminati had to get to. You gotta.
That's what.
Yeah. Okay.
See how Don Cheadle replaced Terrence Howard?
I'm just telling you. Hollywood though. Hollywood.
That's wild.
Are you looking it up? Did you look it up?
I don't even want to talk about it.
You see it? Is it up there, Ruthie? Ruthie, but do you see it? Is it there? Is it something that? What does the headline say? What does the story say?
I'm just looking on Wikipedia.
What'd you put into Google?
I just typed in Don Cheadle.
And do it say anything about Don Cheadle and loving and Matt Damon? Anyway, there?
Nope.
Put Don Cheadle and Matt Damon. Showtime. Watch. It's the Maze Jackson Show. Y'all, we did not get to the social media question of the day, which is Riis. Give me the big voice first.
It's time for the social media question of the day.
At what age do you become about that life? Did you I wish you could have seen that. You was like, what is this on that paper? I really wish you could have seen your face. At what age do you become about that life? Then at what age are you accountable for that life? What age do you get out of that life? It's interesting because I put this up. I don't know if you all remember that scene in Boys in the Hood where Trey and Doe were going out to go be on a mission with some other guys after Ricky had been killed. Ricky! I was thinking about that in context to all the stuff that's going on in our neighborhoods. And I was going to say that I want to know, at what age is it possible for you to be about that life? Right? Think about it. And then I want to know, at what age do you want out? Because I think there's a reality. I think that there's some people that's going to stay about their life. There's some people that's going to test their life. There's some people that's like, I ain't even never trying to find out. But I feel like most black men have a bout with trying out that life. And I want to know, when do you try it out? What got you out of it? Or if you stay. And then when did you recognize at what age? Because I would tell you that I tried to get in that life at really about 17. Whereas I was reading some of these comments and people was into that 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Man, when I was reading that video and dude said we started shooting people with no aim in 16. I mean, in 7th and 8th grade, 6th and 7th grade. And then we learned to take headshots in high school. When do you take that seriously? It's the Maze Jackson Show. We'll be back after these messages.
The Maze Jackson Show will be back after this break.
WIFTBPN.
Oh, man. They done messed around and gave New Era Chicago their own radio show. What they do that for?
You done messed up! So what we doing, bro?
Man, we talking about power.
Did you say power?
Not rights and equality, but power. We ain't begging, we building.
In that order, Chicago, and we got dope segments. Hey, yo, sis, holla at them.
Peace and love, family. It's Sister E of New Era Chicago in the building, dropping the statistics, holistics, and of course the ballistics. Good for the mind, body, and the soul. Let's get it, family.
And this your boy D Cook coming with straight facts. If you don't know, now you know.
And this is your other sister, Omo Oya Music, coming in peace, love, and light, getting real with my people so we can quit with the bull spit.
And this brother E, and I'm gonna wrap it up with the power surge.
Listen, it's going down every Wednesday night, 5 to 6 p.m. Tell a friend to tell a friend. It's the Black Power Hour, New Era Chicago Radio on What's In It for the Black People Media.
All power to the people.
All power to the people.
All love it.
Yeah, I love being black. Hey, do this for my people.
And now, traffic and weather.
Good morning. What's in it for the Black People Media family? The time is now 7:04 a.m. and I'm Reese the Ruler with your Chicagoland area sports, traffic, and weather update. In sports, the Chicago White Sox pitcher Lucas Giolito will pitch Lucas Giolito will pitch 6 scoreless innings as the Sox beat the Indians 5-2. The Chicago Cubs will lose to the St. Louis Cardinals as the Cardinals extend their franchise win streak to 16. In the playoffs in the WNBA, the Chicago Sky, the number 6 seed, took on the Minnesota Lynx, number 3. The Sky will use balanced offense as they beat the Lynx 89-76 and advance to the next round. In the NFL, the Justin Fields era started yesterday as the Bears and the Browns were in action. Bad O-line and bad play calling will lead the Bears to a 26-6 loss. Now over to traffic on the Kennedy O'Hare to the Loop is 38 minutes. Outbound to O'Hare will be 23. On the Eden inbound from Deerfield to the Exchange is 44 minutes. Exchange back to Deerfield will be 27. On the Eisenhower, Thorndale to the Loop is 56 minutes. Back out to Thorndale will be 37. The Stevenson from I-355 to the Dan Ryan is 49 minutes. Outbound will be 32. The Bishop Ford I-80 to the Dan Ryan is an accident, so that's 75 minutes. 29 minutes back out to I-80. The Dan Ryan is still 21 minutes to the Loop. 16 minutes back out to 95th. DuSable Lakeshore Drive South is locked in at 7 minutes. 55th to Jackson. Jackson back to 55th. 8 minutes north. Randolph to Bryn Mawr. Bryn Mawr to Randolph. Today's weather, it is currently 66 and sunny. Today will be a high of 84 and a low of 64. I'm Riis the Ruler. Now here's Valerie on The Maze Jackson Show.
Well, sometimes I go out by myself and I look across the water and I think of all the things, what you're doing, and in my head I paint a picture. Since I've come home, well, my body's been a mess, and I miss your ginger hair and the way you like to dress. But won't you come on over? Stop making a fool out of me. Why don't you come on over, Valerie? Valerie. Did you have to go to jail? Put your house on up for sale? Did you get a good lawyer? I hope you didn't catch a tan. I hope you find the right man who'll fix it for you. And are you shopping anywhere? Change the color of your hair. Are you busy? And did you have to pay that fine that you've been dodging all the time? Are you still dizzy? Oh, yeah. Since I've come home, well, my body's been a mess, and I miss your ginger hair and the way you like to dress. Won't you come on over? Oh, stop making a fool out of me. Why don't you come on over there? Well, sometimes I go out by myself and I look across the water and I think of all the things, what you're doing. In my head I paint a picture. Since I've come home, well, my body's been a mess, and I miss your ginger hair and the way you like to dress. Won't you come on over? Stop making a fool out of me. Why don't you come on over, babe?
Why don't you come on over,
Back to the Maze Jackson Show. You are listening to the most dangerous show in the morning. This is What's in It for the Black People Radio. Maze Jackson. Maze Jackson, the most vociferous advocate for black people in the world.
For Ruthie Moore, for Todd Stoger, I am the host of the Maze Jackson Show, asking every single day, what's in it for the black people? And if you don't like it, you can still tell them Maze said, Mayor Lightfoot, man, we ain't accepting that. We ain't accepting that. Let's go.
Yeah. Let's get down to business and go ahead and address the facts, man. Lightfoot seems more lesbian than black. Rahm Emanuel's another case. He was just as tired. 50 closed schools left much to be desired. Police had Anjanette naked on that body cam. They suppressed the footage so it couldn't touch a lot of hands. Reminds me of that 16 shots in that cover-up. Both of them similar, so I went and dug it up. George Floyd killed, a lot of riots happened in the town. Southside burned and they wouldn't let them bridges down. Grandmother sick, need a prescription and plus a couple groceries. You gon' have to travel just to get it now. COVID-19 out here shutting all the business down. Not enough SBA loans to even give around. So many failed businesses that you can put them in the pile. If you don't survive the pandemic, it's gonna sit you down. We sing, dance, play ball, entertain, and crack jokes. Government infested black neighborhoods with crack smoke. System that milked us so bad, we got lactose. Still trying to find out what's in it for us black folks. We sing, dance, play ball, entertain, and crack jokes. Government infested black neighborhoods with crack smoke. System that milked us so bad, we got lactose. Still trying to find out what's in it for us black folks. Shout out to Willie Wilson, hope one day you get to send it. We need some different players in the game to handle business. Too many shady characters like Madigan and Blago. But when you really break it down, it's typical Chicago. City full of gangsters, it's what the land was built on. Same streets with hood legends, DNA get spilled on. Carjackers out here lurking, trying to get they steal on. Looking for a block to put them Hellcat wheels on. Let this give bogus appraisals a red line. Car crackers out here getting minimal fair time. And I'm concealed carry, I stay with the pipe. But Illinois gun laws giving minimal rights. Stay up on the swivel, make sure I'm moving tight. Check all of my mirrors when I pull up to the light. Pick my homie up from out of town, man, he caught a flight. He was hella nervous, told him, shorty, this a way of life. We sing, dance, play ball, entertain, and crack jokes. Government infested black neighborhoods with crack smoke. System that milked us so bad, we got lactose. Still trying to find out what's in it for us black folks. We sing, dance, play ball, entertain, and crack jokes. Government infested black neighborhoods with crack smoke. System that milked us so bad, we got lactose. Still trying to find out what's in it for us black folks.
Wake up, Chicago. Wake up, world. This is the Maze Jackson Show. I'm your host, Maze Jackson. Got my co-host, Ruthie Purple Moore. You coordinate. You be coordinating your
Not at all.
Don't be a hater. Could you just go with the flow sometimes?
Oh, yes. Thank you. Royalty, purple.
Some cute stuff. Yuck. Never mind. I take it back. Take it all back. I was gonna say, Ruthie, you in your purple. You got your purple on. You got your royalty. Then I just
royalty.
No, it's not. Okay, you got one of them things with the leopard spot. Oh, let me stop. You know what I always want though? You know how the kings be having that white thing and then it had the dots on it?
Like made out of
somebody's skin. It's some kind of animal. It's a fur, but I want one of them one day. All right, y'all. It's the Maze Jackson Show. Maze, Riis, and Ruthie. Ruthie?
Fur is murder. That's what Peter be saying.
Hey, man, I'm going to tell you something. Every time, I never see Peter at the black church, though. I dare Peter show up to black church on Sunday because they going to find Jesus. Because, you know, sisters, when the weather changed, they straight up pull them furs out.
I want a fur.
What? Hold on. You probably want one of them synthetic furs, Ruthie. I used to have a fur, Ruthie.
I'm not opposed to furs, leather.
They super warm.
But I do want a fur.
Ruthie,
one of them long. I want a long one. One of them dramatic ones.
Oh, what kind?
Like
what kind of animal?
can I get Fox?
Oh, look at you.
And I want the hat.
Oh, you know you gotta get the band.
That's
Don't get the hat.
That's what I'm talking about. The little
You
little
gotta
band.
get the thing.
That's
to go
how you
around
know.
here.
That's how you know you made it.
You know, no, you don't. Because
I'm telling
Negroes
you, for
got
me.
them bad boys on layaway like a mug.
Man, listen,
you go to the store.
The women I see that got them, they got it.
You know what? I like. You know what? I have seen some. So I had a fur. I used to rock it. I look kind of pimpery though. Right? It was kind of pimpery. So I stopped. I enjoy it. And I used to wear it with a big old stupid Godfather fedora. Yeah, I think I got some pictures. I might have had it. I think one time I had it and I was wearing it and I had my press and curl. And it sweated out the back of my... Because a fur is really a warm coat. Like people...
Of course. I'm functional. You know I be cold.
That cold are way more than you, Ruthie. Ruthie will be like... trying to go to church. Oh, Lord. All right, y'all. This is the Maze Jackson Show. Maze, Riis, and Ruthie. Hey, Riis, you got a fur? I feel like Riis got a fur somewhere. You know, I see Riis. I could see Riis coming in here for week Wednesday and doing like I could see him like with a fur vest. Like Riis coming in here, fur vest, no shirt, like on one of the old school. I could see Riis pulling it. Riis, well, you know what then, Riis? You could dye your shag the same color as your fur. That would be off the chain, and then you could be at the players' ball like, woo!
Don't do it, Riis.
I won. Riis, you got a fur?
Not at all. I probably ain't bought a winter coat in 3 years.
What? That's cause Riis ain't got a Riis. Man, Riis VIP.
No, them pellies be holding up.
No, I haven't bought a pelly since 2005 or something. Nah, I really
He said
buy
2005.
like a hoodie and a leather jacket, man. That's really, it's kind of weird, but like,
You don't be in a big old goose downs.
I don't be. I need to be able to move. You know what I'm saying? So I just need to, long as I don't know. That's kind of crazy, but I really for like the last 4 years had a hoodie and a leather
Riis,
jacket.
it's nothing. It's really. I mean, I got all these coats because I always be like, I'm gonna put them in my car, and so at the end of the winter, I got like 12 coats in the back of my car, and I never wear them because it's like door to door all the time. It's like I got a garage. I get out the garage.
Okay.
I get in the car. The longest I'm in is the time it takes for me to put the key in the door, and don't let me be. And like when I'm going out,
that makes sense.
I feel like a coat sometimes is a bother. Like I really 97% of the time don't wear a coat in general. Like I'll throw a jacket on, but like if it requires a coat, I probably ain't doing it.
Too big.
No, I'm saying and I got the freshest coats because I'm a coat collector. Like if you can't even get in my closet because I got so many coats, but I'd be like, man, I'm not wearing a bad boy because it's just too bulky. Do you ride with your coat on in your car?
Never.
Right, or do you take everything off and then throw it in the car and then put it on when you come back out? Ruthie, you probably ride with your coat on.
Because it take a minute for it to heat up. It ain't coming out the
Ruthie,
garage.
you ain't got no auto start?
No. So you got to keep your coat on. Till it get
Reese, we got to put Ruthie up on game. You ain't got auto start, Ruthie.
No.
Yeah,
gotta get matching sets.
I heard you shouldn't do it aftermarket.
It depends on the car.
That's what I heard.
See, who told you that though? Some girl. Look, no, what it is, let me tell you what that was. That was some dude. Like, no, baby, you can't get, it'll ruin your car aftermarket. You was like, you give me some auto start? No, baby, you know that'll ruin your car. You can't get it.
I just go outside and start it.
Right, I started for you.
I know how to do it.
I said the car. Oh, God. It's the Maze Jackson Show. I'm your host, Maze, Ruthie, and Riis.
You know what I do in the wintertime?
What you do?
I put my hoodie in the dryer right before I go.
You stuck. That's the old school. That's your old school training. That's your old school. I get whooped for that. I would get whooped for that. Hold on one second. Hey, Riis, take a pause real quick. Take a pause. I'm going to take this because I wouldn't ordinarily get this. It's the Maze Jackson Show. We'll be back after these messages. Riis, go to break. All right? We ready? All right. It's the Maze Jackson Show.
The Maze Jackson Show. We'll be back after this break.
I'm blessed.
Chicago's Power Hour. I'm your host, Angie Mims, and
Terrence Keys,
TD, a.k.a. Terrence Daniels.
You got an inspirational word for today?
Oh, man, I'll be honored. Giving honor to God. Hey, man, on Sunday morning, it's early, so we got to give honor to God.
Yes, sir.
The good word for today is don't worry.
Mm-hmm.
Oftentimes in our life, in our walk, in our days, in our journeys, we find a way to just worry about so many things. Mm-hmm. And we just want to encourage you today that those worries is God's responsibility. Mm-hmm. It's God's responsibility, because at the end of the day, what we worry about, most times we can't handle.
Yes.
If we would agree together, we can't handle it. So we have to give it to God. That's His responsibility. Mm-hmm. And our job is to simply believe.
Yes.
Simply believe. When we believe, the Bible says all things are possible.
Come on through here.
I better leave that alone. I feel my
seat already.
I feel seat coming.
So be anxious for nothing. Even the Bible says don't worry about anything. In Matthew 6:33 it says don't worry about anything, but seek ye first the kingdom of God and His righteousness, and all these other things be added unto you. So we're here to encourage you.
Back to the Maze Jackson Show.
All right, y'all. This is the Maze Jackson Show. I'm your host, Maze Jackson. Got my co-host, Ruthie Moore, and DJ Riis. I appreciate y'all sticking with us through that. Hey, I don't think I said what's up to everybody today. So what's up to the WBGX 1570 AM audience? What's up to YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, and Twitch? Riis, who is winning today's match between Facebook and YouTube? Because Facebook's at 120, so I'm guessing YouTube is probably winning right now.
There's in a close bout. We got YouTube with 131 and Facebook at 124.
YouTube, y'all trying to make me switch. Y'all trying to make me make the switch. Now I need all the YouTube people to go to the video and thumbs up the video. Subscribe to the page. Also, don't forget we have a WIIFTBP YouTube channel. What's in it for the Black People Media channel on YouTube. It's Wiftable though. So check that out. Hey, y'all, Maze Jackson Show, Ruthie Riis. So first of all, shout out to Ruthie Moore, who, y'all know I'm not really good with the whole text thing. Like, there's a certain time when I got like ADD, and if I got more than two, I'm just tell you, if we have a text conversation that has more than two texts, you're probably gonna lose me at 3. Right? You're probably gonna lose me at 3 because I'm like, okay, you got to put it all in one, and then I answer everything in that one, and then the second one. But don't text me thank you. Don't text me thank you. Like, unless it's do it in the thing, because you be trying to drive and you be all type of stuff, and then be like thank you, then it be like thank you, you're welcome too, thank you, I appreciate it, I appreciate it back, thank you. I get it.
So you got to get the hip when they say thank you on an iPhone. You just like it, and that's the end of the conversation.
You still get a ping.
Yeah, I'm cool with that, though. I feel like they be like looking at you like you didn't respond. You didn't see me say bye? Damn it, I said bye. It's like bye.
Then she say bye, that's when you like it. Like, boom, over. Right then and there. Try it. I'm telling you.
You take a lesson, Maze.
Hit the like button, because...
Carrie got an Android.
First of all...
I think it'll come through. It'll just look a little different.
It say like. Maze liked the post. Android. Hey, y'all, let's have a good laugh. Android.
I'm with you. Listen, man. I be hating them chats when they be like 10 people in that one person with that. Come on.
They can FaceTime now though. They trying to come.
No, they be FaceTime. It be like.
I see that now.
You be like, there you go, your face. It be like, I see you between the lines. It's like watching on TV. Did I date myself?
I haven't tried it yet. Have you really?
No, because who talks to people with Android?
I don't even know nobody who I could call with
Android and FaceTime.
I would like to see what it looked like though.
I'm gonna try it today.
I don't even know how it works.
They don't know how it works. They like, what is this? What is this newfangled thing y'all got? Okay. Maze Jackson Show. So y'all, hey. So if any of y'all was watching my Facebook page this weekend, last week so I really want to start getting to I really want to start trying to get to some answers, but I do think we got to have a conversation, few conversations. And so one of the conversations I want to have is, at what age do you become about that life? I would argue that in today's society, I would say a majority, so that's 51%, of black males have a bout with the life. Whether it's driven by peer pressure, whether it's driven by family, friends, whether it's driven by your neighborhood, whether it's driven by your school, I think that most black men have a bout with the life. Some people go far. Some people stick their foot in. Some people get all the way in, get all the way out. Some people make it through and have lived the life and make it through unscathed and have done everything under the sun. Some people get caught early and then get put on a trajectory. So I want to know, when is it realistic that you could be about that life? And that life I'm talking about is the negative connotation, right? That life being you are in a gang, represent a gang, or it's that there is something about being a black man that requires you to steal yourself. That requires you to, some people, stealing yourself, and when I say stealing yourself, I don't mean punching yourself. I mean stealing yourself to be hard to not be looked at as a victim in a world where we are looking to find, we're in the jungle. There is also the part where you don't live in the jungle per se, but you still are trying to live up to the reputation of being a black man. Because somewhere in the reputation of being a black man, there seems to be something about being hard. Yes? No? Do you agree? Disagree?
You know, I agree. I think the first time that I heard a term for that is called like the cool pose.
The who?
It's called the cool pose. And it's just basically about like, how can I describe it? Like,
is that the thing where the kids stand there with their hand?
Well, that's the
arm crossed.
Well, that's an output of it. Like the cool, like, let me see how I can describe it. Like survival, like how you just said, like being like still psychological survival. So the cool pose for black men equates like psychological survival. So what are these things that black men do that's really like manifestations of them just trying to survive in this society? So
okay,
I'm with you.
And a lot of times that has some sort of negative connotation or some need to be hard, tough, etc. Sometimes that is expressed through joining an organization. Sometimes that's expressed through carrying a gun. Sometimes that's expressed through outbursts. Now it's expressed through social media. But I ask this question because even as we talk about these young people and the shooters and all of those different things, I think we got to start thinking about the mentality that comes with it. Can I tell y'all, I always go back to this. I grew up in Bolingbrook, and I was a nerd all the way up until my sophomore year. At which point I decided at my sophomore year that I would not be a nerd. I was going to withdraw from, think about what my idea of not being a nerd was. I was going to withdraw from all honors classes that gave me and that allowed me to be ready to graduate my junior year, but I had to go because they couldn't just let you go. I also decided to join an organization, but because I didn't want to be like, you know how y'all be talking about the streets of Bolingbrook, I went to Allgale Gardens. And I started doing things and participating in things that were nowhere close to anything that my parents had an idea about. It's very funny. My mom was talking about the one time I got stuck on the south side Like, I missed my curfew one time. Now, mind you, I had a curfew of 12 o'clock, but on Fridays, we was in the gardens. We was doing our thing. And then we would come back to the crib because we was with the gardens and feel like we was even extra something. And in that time, I would tell you that I probably committed a lot of acts that would be considered felonious. However, I never got caught. I'll be honest with you, it was never, ever real to me until being in college. And I'm telling you, we started dipping around and messing around and partaking. Some people sold drugs. Some people got in an organization. Some people decided they was going to form their own cliques. Some people decided they was going to be robbing people. It was a whole bunch of stuff going on that people were trying to do. And a lot of this happened during college years. It did not become real to me until after partaking in all of those different things, I actually got arrested and got locked up. But I gotta ask you, and so part of me says, like, before I throw everybody out the door, there was a part of us that actually lived the life that these teenagers are living. And I would tell you that probably some of my activity definitely started in high school. Felonious activity. Fortunately, probably people didn't, because they were still in the nerd phase, didn't realize that I was trying to escape that by going. And I feel like there's a lot of times when I see kids that, you know, you see them and you was like, what's up, Lil Ron? They be like, my name's Snake now. Or my name blah, blah, blah. And you know that they are making the pivot. My street name is this. Don't call me XYZ ABC. You start to see the tattoos show up. You start to see all of these things. My question is, what age do you become about that life? Like, are there legitimately 12, 13, 14, and 15-year-olds that are about that life? I would argue yes. Now my question becomes, what happens if you get caught? Now, let me back up. What age do you enter the life? And I would argue that there are a lot of people that I know that have entered that life and then exited around 30. Not 25, because I think we were still dibbling and dabbling right up to 30. So what happens at what age do you become about that life? Because, you know, people be like, man, if you wasn't in about 9, 10, 11, 12, you can be about it. People try to catch up. What happens if you get caught in between? I know a lot of people that got caught in between, and when they got caught, especially in a downstate area, if you got caught in between, you wasn't getting the same chances you got here. I knew people that got caught in between in Bloomington, Normal, and Champaign, that they left there for 20 years at 18, 19, and probably everybody was somewhere doing some semblance of it. Where do you draw the line? And do you embrace or fake it? And when I say that, like, I see stories all this. I see people ignoring family members that are clearly about that life. And they start telling you stories, and they start telling you, they pretend like they don't see what's happening. Probably because I lived that piece of that life. You understand it. Again, the first time somebody tell you my name ain't Mike no more, my name is such and such, and it's the street name, I got a sense that you're going down the path. Give us a call, 872-259-7474. I want to know, am I crazy? Is this real? I know a lot of people that got about that life that weren't about it in high school, but came to college and jumped down and wound up losing their livelihoods because they were in some college town living that life. Man, you get caught in... How many times have you heard the story of somebody in Champaign, Bloomington, Normal, somebody at a black college? Charleston. Right. Somebody had a quarter pound. Now they done made you the felonious kingpin of the whole world.
An ounce.
Seriously.
An ounce.
It's the Maze Jackson Show. Give me a call. 872-259-7474. Have y'all... I liken this to the moment in Boys in the Hood. Y'all remember in Boys in the Hood when after Ricky got killed... And everybody wanted revenge. And Ruthie, it makes me also think about that article you sent me this weekend, right? About the pain. Like in the middle of your grief and pain, if it gets interrupted, you feel like you want revenge. And even the toughest, even the nerdiest guy gets bulked up that moment. And if you're around the wrong people, they can take you down the path. It's the Maze Jackson Show. And you know, I think, Brandon, I'm looking at your post where you say the later in life you jump off the porch, the lamer you look. And I think that those people that do that play catch up. Mm. And so what you find is a lot of times while you call them lame, etc., and it depends on the environment, they playing catch up because they not finna let you punk them. Right? And I think we get into all of this it turns into an ego fest, and then it resorts to gunplay. Cause what you said, I'm lame because I came from such and such bowling. Like I tell you how many times there were shootouts between Bolingbrook and somebody else, Joliet. Mm. And it's funny, people laugh. You laugh. I think that I would tell you that if you didn't come into contact with BDs at 21, before 21, mm-hmm. and then you find camaraderie, right? You may. It depends on where you live. It depends on all of those different things. And I do think that there is a need in our black psyche, because we don't have a lot of places to display power, that's where it comes from. Mm-hmm. And I feel like, and I don't want to compare these things, but I do think that it's no different than joining an organization, right? Like if you join a fraternity or a sorority or something, and no, Reis, don't get it twisted. There is a sense of community that you want to have. Mm-hmm. There's a sense of kindredness that you want to have with black men. Now, if those are the black men that are in your purvey, right? That's what you do. I don't know. Yeah, I just think like it's all good. So it's the Maze Jackson Show. Tell me about your experience. When did you get in? When did you get out? What did you do in between? Is this a real thing? Give us a call, 872-259-7474. Reese, what you got? Anybody on the line? Yeah. Okay, give me a call. You on the Maze Jackson Show.
Yeah, hello, good morning. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Yeah, I just want to say the difference between today and like back in the late 70s, early 80s when I was coming up, you had older men, even older gang members could look at a guy and say, look, what the hell you doing here? You don't belong in this here. You even had older guys would threaten you. I don't care what you do. If I take you in prison, I'm going to make you wish you never came. You got young guys raising themselves and they're out of control now. You don't have the strong black men you had 40 years ago who could pull a guy to the side and let him know that he's not tough at that moment in time right there. But thanks for hearing me.
Oh, thank you, brother. I appreciate your call. It's interesting. Give us a call, 872-259-7474. At what age do you become about that life? What age do you exit? What happens in between? Is this an issue for women? For black women? I think it's evolving into that, right?
It's there. It's a little different. It looks a little different, I think. When you kind of decided that, you know what, I'm about to take this path, where do black men look to for those like examples? Like, is it the media? Is it you look in your own like neighborhoods? Like, where do black men get examples of where to emulate? Like, where is it coming from?
You just said it.
Is it the media and you think?
For sure.
I mean, I think if you say, I could say that. I would say that most of the, like, when we was in Mobb Deep World, right? When we was in, I would tell you that there aren't a lot of examples of black men publicly that get to be strong black men. And so realistically, those examples, and so we glorify those examples of people that lead us down the path of death and destruction as it's kind of like that whole thing where I always be like, you can't call everybody a chump or a sucker or a soft because they ain't fighting because they became an accountant. And then say, where are the examples? I feel like we have a love-hate relationship with positive role.
Yeah, we got to test like acting white, right?
Right. So
you got to factor all that.
You got
psychological stuff into there.
You gotta. I mean, you think about it. Where is the encouragement for a black male to do well? Think about. I mean, I just think about how we talk about black men. I would argue with you that we almost glorify the death mugs that went out in a blaze, and we hold them higher than people who have actually contributed to our community.
It's something about us getting it out the mud. And I know when he talked about that before, he was like, what are you talking about? But it's something about getting it out the mud that we revere, that we deem as like powerful. We deem it to be more worthy. Right. If you ain't got no struggle, you soft.
Well, I guess, but my thing is I think it's interesting to me because we rewrite history. If I was a young man, I would be confused. I'm going to be honest with you. No shade to any of the heroes, quote unquote, that we have. But like there is no there is no story told about the black man who supported his family. There isn't. And to me, the example is always somebody that was tough, somebody that was. I mean, you think about who are we hollering about right now? Like who do we proclaim as our guys? And I don't know that there is a place. I would like y'all to tell me besides Dr. King. Mm-hmm. Tell me a black man or besides Dr. King or athlete. Give me a positive black man that we even talk about.
Obama.
And you see how that worked, right? Okay, I'll give you Obama. But just think about, and I would argue that you think about who are the black men that are examples for black men. I mean, you think about everybody tells a story of some piece of their connection. If you say, man, I went to you, look, you was a square, you was a lame, who took care of their family?
Loch Ness already told you who our models is. We sing, laugh, play ball, entertain, and crack jokes. That's the only people that they're either a comedian, they're either a rapper, or they're a basketball player. If you really think of like a black person name, you say Bron. You know what I'm saying? You know, like when you think of them, like you probably won't say a political name or like somebody like doing something. But that's what we'll see. You know, is a rapper doing something. Jay-Z, that's what we look up to, like Jay-Z, Diddy, things like that. Them are versions of, like you said, getting it out the mud, that people that ain't have two nickels to rub together, and they had to take the path that most of us can relate to. Like you said, what age did we get? Because most of us can say we was in the age that we had to do certain things to get to what we
age?
had. So I know an era that people like born into it. Like, to be honest, some folks are born into it, and things like that.
What age is it possible for a child not to know right and wrong? Or a young person to not know right and wrong?
Yes.
In the beginning.
Scientifically, their brains ain't developed. So they don't really understand consequences in like the long term.
So in that understanding, right? Remember we watched that video last week and Shorty was like, man, we was shooting and we didn't know how to aim at 6th and 7th grade.
Mm-hmm.
When do I take him seriously?
Right when he said it, right then you could take him serious. That still does not, just because he said it, he emulating what he see.
I'm not debating it. I'm not debating that at all. I'm saying, so you can enter as early as what? I know you said born, but like, when do I take you seriously? 6th grade?
Man.
The first time you pull that gun out and shoot somebody, you better take him 100% serious.
How do you know though? Like, and where's the intersection? Because the intersection is going to come from somebody who what? The person that can reach him ain't going to be the accountant. It ain't going to be the, right? And you that's the dude that you kicked to the curb. That's the dude that you said all through, he ain't black, because he ain't hard, he ain't tough, he ain't. So what you got is these people in this repetitive cycle of Negroes who ain't got nothing telling you, don't be like me, I ain't got nothing either.
Want you to do good, not better than everybody.
And then, right, but then, if you were, again, you a dog, the black dude, I always say it's like this never-ending cycle, because the black dude that went to school, that got a family, that did the thing and went around, he ain't messing with you now because you said he was white.
Okay, so pause a second. Hold on.
Okay.
Because I think that there is a difference, because what you just kind of described was like black men, black women relationships. So I think that does have streams within this conversation. But I think we kind of started off talking about young black males and how they're influenced, and at what age do they decide to either go one way or the other way. Now, we can talk about the influence of black women in all of this.
Oh, I wasn't talking about black women.
No, I'm just saying, like, but you're right in a sense of, if you think about how the thug versus the nerd, quote unquote, is perceived, and how that impacts how much play they get from the ladies. Like, that is a conversation, but I don't think I do think it's a big part of the conversation, but I think it's not the end all be all sort of reason. Now, it does factor into it.
So I'm lost on this part, because I don't really want to go to the women part of this. I really want to stay focused on the male component.
Yeah, but think about how you just said that when he was in school and y'all called him lame, and now that he older, you ain't about to get no play from him. Like, that is a male-female relationship type of thing.
I was thinking of the dudes, though. I was thinking of the dudes in that space. I was thinking of, like, we proclaim. I was more so talking about the lame kid who went to school, who now has gone on, has succeeded in life, and now you saying come back and mentor, right? And the people in the streets is like, hey man, y'all just went away and left us. No, dog, you actually ran them away. Like, those experiences inform them, and realistically, in a lot of their minds, they're repeating those are the same people. So they're not going to invest their time in Ray Ray and Pookie. They're going to invest their time in the same kid that looked like them. And quite frankly, a lot of times, and I'm asking this, like, when you don't get off, like, because the person that's going to really impact that child, 9 times out of 10, hasn't climbed has not become an example that that child would look to and say, ooh, I'm going to be like you. I'm going to listen to you and what I'm going to be. That's how I see it. Caller, let's go to the line. It's the Maze Jackson Show. Caller, you're on the Maze Jackson Show. When did you get into life, or when does a child become about that life? What age do you get out? What happens if you get caught in between? Any of that. Give us a call. 872-259-7474. What's up, caller?
Hey, how you doing, Maze? You know, that last caller said when he was younger, I grew up in the 70s and early 80s, you know, finished high school, 87. I can only really think of one guy that, you know, was telling guys, you know, you don't want to, you know, get into this life. And that was after he got out of it, and he was at our high school speaking about it. And one other guy, I think when I was about 9 years old, he cleaned his life up and told us not to do drugs. We kind of looked at each other like, none of us do drugs, you know. But I knew guys, 9 and 10 years old, they was already in gangs, and I knew a couple kids already had gang tattoos at 11 years old, and a guy at 13 trying to get out of it, trying to get rid of his tattoos. You know, they got juvenile detention centers with a lot of young gangbangers in there. You know, so I guess it depends on, you know, where you're from. You know, I was in the Austin area at that time, you know, but I didn't see, matter of fact, my brother, I think he started around 13, 14 selling drugs. The guy in his 30s, you know, he introduced him to the gangs and the drugs and all that. I don't remember a lot of guys discouraging the young boys from getting in the gangs. And you can always tell when somebody that really wasn't quite there, you know, sometimes they grew up in a Catholic school and they kind of broke off and they wanted to be in the streets because their mentality was a little different. But after a few years, they was deep in it. You know, it's like they had to get trained into it. And like I said, I don't remember a lot of older guys saying, no, you don't want to do this, you don't want to do that. Maybe it just depends on where you live. And that's just what I wanted to add to your conversation.
I appreciate that. I mean, I think even as adults, though, quiet as a cat, we glorify it. Like, even as a grown daddy or as a grown, right, we still glorify it. I think because there is some appeal
to trauma.
Call it what you want.
Trauma. Trauma. We are addicted to trauma as a society.
Ooh.
I think as a culture, we value trauma. We revere trauma. And if you don't experience trauma, they feel like you ain't worthy most of the time. Kind of sick.
Yeah, I mean, I could see that. Part of my thing in this is I do think that we have you call it an addiction to trauma. If you haven't gone through that trauma, or you don't celebrate it, or you don't claim it and embrace it, then you lose a bit of credibility. Even from the people who are above it or supposed to be above it. I would tell you that I still know grown men that do the gang shake or the street shake, right? Like in front of their kids, still be like, ha, 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 even if they ain't still a part of it. Because there is some level of your manhood is validated by having that connection. Some level of black manhood is connected to, whether you call it trauma, whether it is being a tough guy, whatever, in our universe. Go ahead.
I was just going to say, like, oftentimes the people that suffer the most because of that is black women and children. And I think that's part of the cycle too.
Break that down for me.
I mean, like a lot of the stuff that we're describing, like those things have effects. So if we can say, okay, at an early age, we see that there's this path that a lot of young black males go down. Like, what are the ramifications of that path? So now we got a cycle of like fatherlessness. We got like just a cycle of just trauma and if I mean the lack of a way out is kind of the part where it just feels like it's never ending. Like, and our families are suffering. And I think that's really the key is it's the family structure that's kind of messed up with this reliance on trauma. Like
trauma.
Like trauma. Like it's trauma. Like, I don't really know no other way to describe it, but it's messing up our family structures.
I agree. I think that we are I think because we have limited examples. I would just challenge you to ask, what black people do we raise up that are not, that ain't tough, that have been examples, have provided, have given back to their community? I would tell you that anyone that you do, somebody gonna call them soft. I'm gonna tell you that.
Oh no, everybody ain't gonna call them soft.
No, I agree. I'm not gonna say that. I'm gonna say that I think we place our values. I think that might be prolific. We place our values on how much trauma you've suffered. That's what makes you valid. That's what makes you like, man, I went through so everybody got to tell a story of how tough they was.
I got it out the mud. Back in my day, we had to walk 45 miles to school. It's the same thing, except now it's just a little bit different. Man, I've been busting clocks. That's the same as walking 50 miles to school. But the difference, I think, in that is the destruction of it. Some people was just trying to get to school to kind of better themselves, versus somebody terrorizing our community. But it's the same, getting it out the mud.
It's not necessarily the same. The concept is the same. The outcomes are not. Right? Like, there's a difference between getting shot, and that's your version of getting it out the mud, and me telling you, I had to walk uphill 2 times to go to school. Both ways.
See, but I'm telling, it's the same. I mean, I know some people can probably see the connection, and some people probably think that's that they can't see it, so they like, nah, I don't see the connection. But I think until we make the connection between the need for us to always get it out the mud and our addiction to trauma and how that plays out, especially with our young people, because that's who really being hurt the most. It's the babies, and our babies keep growing up in the same cycle. Yes, it's some of it is the music and it's the culture, but we are very influenced by media, entertainment.
I was just having this conversation yesterday. Like, I don't feel obligated to make my son walk through that trauma.
Nope.
I don't feel obligated that because he's been able to. We worked hard to keep him. Not saying it protects you from anything, but I don't feel some overwhelming obligation to be like, hey man, you got to go stand in the middle of the street and learn how to. No, that's not really. Like, I want him to have different. I don't want survival to be his challenge, right? Like, I don't want his test of manhood to be, oh, he survived, he didn't die. Look, I know we got to go say goodbye to everybody. I want to thank everybody from WBGX 1570 AM who has been listening. You can continue the conversation with us on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and Twitch. But Ruthie, I think you might have said, I thought I usually be the most prolific speaker, but I do think what was it about trauma?
I don't know, but this conversation really does make me feel a type of way. It makes me feel very, very kind of sad.
See, it's crazy to me because it's so interesting to me because we have, I don't know if it's we have a dearth of heroes, we don't know, but it seems to me that we always revert back to raising up and rewriting the story of negative history, right? Like, we want to always tell the tale of Robin Hood. Everybody wasn't Robin Hood, right? People was robbing, but they weren't Robin Hood, right? Now, was it the same as the way the white boys did? If you ask the Italians don't be like, oh my God, thank you, we all want to be the Sopranos, or we want to be viewed through the eyes of the Sopranos or the Godfather. They say, man, we got all these great people in our society, and that's who you choose to focus on? Now, we love it because we like the nefarious path. And I don't mean that in a negative. It is the only time that we see people standing up, per se, because we don't even know. It's like our only idea of standing up is standing up and going out in the blaze.
Black male masculinity.
So I'll agree with that. But I think that that's the trick of the devil. The trick of the devil is to tell you, kill yourself, to get you to kill yourself, and I'm the man. I'm gonna kill I'm going down the blaze of glory, and I'm taking some of us out too. But because we have a dearth of heroes, we have a dearth of self-value, we revise our history to make it convenient because we ain't got that much, because we ain't got another story to tell. Because, again, remember the story that we would be having to tell, we ran them people away. Then you say, oh, well, they went to the suburbs. Well, maybe they just didn't want to get traumatized every day trying to get to a place where they could put a productive family. I just think, so I got to tell you, I don't believe that we get to, I think of all the times that people didn't get caught. So I can't write people off because I think there are numerous things that I could have gotten caught for that thank God I didn't. And now I'm here and I'm a productive member of society, of black society. So I don't think we can write it off, but I do think, I think we got to be real with ourselves. I'm going to tell you, Ruthie, though, when Shorty was like, yo, I was shooting with no aim in 6th and 7th grade, I was like, Houston, we have a problem. We have a problem. And I don't think the premise is when someone joins, but why? And what's missing that makes them participate?
Family structure, camaraderie. I think people are in life are seeking purpose. That's what everybody is doing. It's like seeking some type of purpose. Whatever that is, whatever people get into, like your purpose can be whatever you deem it to be. Like, but I think everybody is seeking purpose and connectivity.
I'm gonna just tell you, Martin, I see what you're saying, but that would be too much like that's not sexy. That don't fit the narrative. Right. Again, we gotta
remember we talked about like the BD class in school. And how they used to just be like, we thought, oh, that seemed like they having fun up in there. Because it's like the way that they was just, like not conforming to the rules, like just like doing everything you was not supposed to do.
Yep.
And we thought how much freedom was really in that. And so like I think the rebel figure, particularly in school that go against the systems, the quote unquote bad kids, like they have a why, like they have a place, like, and so I think if we start examining, like, okay, why do people act the way that they act, like it's a whole host of issues, like that's why sometimes schools are like dangerous places for young black boys in a sense, because it can send, if they don't conform, they can literally be sent down a path that they can't come back from. And I think teachers are like the ones that, or educators or people that work in schools, they're the ones really on the front lines of seeing the changes year to year in these same little youngins that's growing up. Now they coming back and they got the face tat. Now they starting their locks. Like, so they can see this stuff. And so I think school is such an important place, but it can also be a dangerous place if the kids don't conform.
So we're gonna talk about it. And you know what? Hey Greg, I see you talking up there. I see a lot of people up there whose opinions I respect, but I gotta ask, are we on the right path? Like, are we really choosing? Let's go to the live line. Caller, you on the Maze Jackson show. Caller.
My family, capital FAM, capital LEE. Y'all cooking with Crisco and a little Mars fat this morning. Maze. It's Brother Ball.
What's up, Brother Ball?
Real quick with a brief synopsis. Let me help y'all break this down. My scenario was my father passed in 8th grade, right? My mom had just relocated me from Chatham to Inglewood. So I didn't really know nobody. I started going to the basketball court. By the time I was in 8th grade, I had grew maybe 2 more inches. So I was probably 6'1" in 8th grade. And I always was hooping with the older guys because I was taller. They would always grab me and, come on, man, hoop with us, woo, woo, woo. So that led to one of my friends saying, hey, man, what you doing today? I said, nothing. He said, I got to go to a meeting. So I'm thinking we going to the park, you know what I mean, to play basketball. When I got up there, it was more of a learning experience to me. I took the good away from what I learned from the Gangster Disciples, now known as Growth and Development. As I got older, what I noticed in high school, how a lot of gangs got bad raps, especially Gangster Disciples. When I was growing up, they would jump on people. They were known for jumping on people and starting things. In my era, I told all the guys, look, we gonna change this. We went to school. Everybody in the organization respected people that went to school. In my neighborhood in West Inglewood, let me say this. All the older guys made sure the younger guys went to school. Do you hear me? If you didn't go to school, you was in trouble. They would go to your parents' home. Everybody knew my mother because my mother was single. So all single parents, listen, man, it was organized better than the Boy Scouts when I was in the Boy Scouts. Okay? Now that I'm a grown man, you know what I'm thankful for, Maze? I'm thankful for the rules and regulations that were laid down for young men to grow up and be prepared for life on. That's what I'm grateful for. I'm not grateful for none of the bad stuff. I was never a part of jumping on anyone. I never had to go to maybe but 2 meetings. And I'm 40 years old right now. I still see some of the guys in the street. Sometimes I might shake their hand. Most of the time I don't. It's just a regular hand.
You still give them the shake? Do you still give them the shake?
Depending on who they are. Depending on who they are, man. Depending on who they are. I got some guys, man, who just got out of jail 25 years. Okay, I know some guys that own trucking companies that's doing better than me that have been locked up for 20 years, brother. You know what I mean? And it all falls back to certain things that we'll say to each other, like, hey, man, you still standing on your thing? You still standing on your square? As 40-year-old men, you know what we do, man? We check on each other. We ask each other, how are we doing? It ain't no more gang stuff, but you know what the gang taught us? Because we're not each other's brothers. We're more each other's brothers now than our own family members. And that's crazy that I can say that, but I'm thankful to every older guy that was in my neighborhood that told us to go play basketball, didn't let us sell drugs, didn't let us get caught up in any other the ruckus.
You weren't plugged in.
We had
Brother Bell, you weren't plugged in. You ain't have to work no pack.
Let me tell you this. I'm one of the last generation that's on books. Now I can go to the county and be good. You can't. Can't nobody else go to the county and be good because they ain't on no book. So you can say what you want to say. Now I can say too much, but I really can't because all this is public document now. Right. Everything is public document. What we're talking about. So I know some Blackstones. My cousins were on the west side, so they was vice lords, spoke on the hustle, things of that nature. Do you know what all our laws was? And I'm gonna get off the phone. You couldn't fight on Sundays. You definitely couldn't shoot nobody on Sundays. Women and children were off limits. Women and children were off limits. So when they took the heads of all of these organizations away, right, that had some grasp on the community, the police used to go to the leaders and say, look, so-and-so and so-and-so happened. They would turn somebody in. Now you have no recourse in the neighborhood. The neighborhood, the community are up for grabs. The children are running the neighborhood because their gang leaders are Grand Theft Auto. They have cliques now, man. You don't know what clique your nephew is in until his clique disses him on the internet. So the warfare between our children is now cyber. You understand what I'm saying? These schools are getting shot up because they are texting each other and on social media, talking to each other on social media, and they show up to these schools shooting at each other at these schools. This is cyber warfare. This is not street warfare like it used to be. We used to hang on street corners with our heads turned different ways. It don't matter now. None of that matters. You see what I'm saying? So we have to understand what we're dealing with right now. We're 40. These children are 15 with no laws, no literature, and no leaders. I hit you with 3 L's. No laws, no literature to follow. They're not reading anything. They can't read anything and understand and comprehend anything, and they have no leaders to show them what to do. I'll leave y'all with that. And as my man say, y'all take care of it. God bless.
Hey, brother Ball, we miss talking to you, man. I'm glad you called in. Tell them kids we said, what's up, man? How's school going? All right, so give us a call, 872-259-7474. 872-259-7474. Was it a good thing? Like, I feel like I think the origins, if you look at the lit of everybody and you look at the origins, I think everybody starts with building, but it goes to the left or to the right, depending on, well, I don't know. Nowadays, I don't know. Remember, it used to be a time you could wear your head to the left or the right and you knew what it meant. Nowadays, you don't know what none of that means. But I guess I gotta, like, do we believe that once the assault from white folks coming into our communities, stopping us from going to schools, is that really the narrative? Like, let me ask a question. Were the organizations really the police of the neighborhood? Because I got to tell you, like, we talking about it like back then was the glory days. There was more murders. We starting to catch up. But it was more bodies, more people getting dropped. Man, the 90s, I swear to God, you couldn't go to the plaza. They had to tear down the movie theater because people. So I don't know that. Are we over glorifying it? Like, I'm not talking about your relationship with your crew, right? With your deck. I'm not talking about that. Because when y'all on the block, it's all good. It's just you and the guys you hang with. But when that comes together and we take the helicopter up, and I'm not talking about, I understand the role of taking Jeff Fort and busting up the organization of the organizations. Were the organizations a good thing for our community, really? Like, take away the whole we fighting to stop the white folks from stopping us from going to school. That's the 50s. Remember the social clubs that started and then they started hanging out. Talk to me. Are we suggesting that part of our life was best? Like that, because I do feel like we have this romanticized vision of what happened on the other end of that. Like, yes, there are all of our individual stories because everybody cared about you on your block. So they said, hey, man, I knew little John, so you, John, you go to school. But if you wasn't John, did they care about you making it to school? I got to ask this because I often feel like we're basing our history off of somewhat a false narrative.
Why you think it's a false narrative?
I won't say a false narrative. I feel like
it's skewed.
Bam. Like, I feel like we're saying that it was so much better for black people in the past. Like, especially with the organization. I'm not debating that they were much more organized, but let's be clear. I mean, we was at like 1,900, 2,000 shootings in the 90s. When there was structure, when there was organization. Give us a call, 872-259-7474. Call, you on the Mace Jackson Show.
They were much more organized. Mace.
Yes. What your name is again?
It is the revisionist history that is happening for me today. I'm so glad you brought up the 90s. I'm like, what was I at during all this great time? Because I got plenty of cousins that got murdered in the 90s. Plenty of funerals that I've been to in the 90s. Homies that just got out of jail from going to jail in the 90s. We have to understand that we do the same thing these crackers do and try to revise history. Black people's trauma has become cultural capital. And we have to understand that. Black people, older black folks like to sit there and talk about the glory days, reliving it, right? As if, our detriment was different on the community. And it wasn't. Ain't no difference. If anything, they left the blueprint to the detriment. We just got done talking about an hour ago. We just got done watching BMF. Canaan. Loosely based on true stories, right? Huh? Glory days. Ain't no difference in the detriment. And we need to stop this right now. And this is why the kids out here don't have respect for us, the old heads, because we like to act like we ain't never did none of what they doing. The only difference is the organization. That's it. But if you listen to them, they organize. What they doing, like he said, I've been shooting since I was, 7? Shooting without aim since 8, whatever he said. That's the difference. Just because they jumping off the porch at 8, you jumped off at 12, that lets you know that we are reliving history. And we have to stop trying to revise it. Tell the truth about your circumstances. Tell the truth about it. We want white people to tell the truth about what they did to us economically and historically. We have to be able to tell the truth what we did to our baby. Period. Love y'all.
What your name is? We don't keep on taking the calls. Caller, you on the Maze Jackson show. I want to hear from somebody who jumped off the porch, maybe didn't leave. I want to know, was it a good thing? Caller? Hello? Yeah, you on? Who's this?
It's Greg. What's up, man?
What up, Big G?
This is Greg Sherman.
What up, Greg Sherman? Hey, let me tell you, I love Greg. Hold on. You know, y'all got to remind y'all who Greg is. In case y'all didn't remember when Todd was on the expressway and the police came to do their thing. The brother that came to his aid and assist is this brother Greg Sherman from ECCSC and the Black Gaming League. What's up, Greg? Talk to me, man.
I appreciate that, bro. I do. This topic is something that's near dear to my heart, bro. I jumped off the porch early and came through the gang life from, baby seeking, trying to be all the way through the gauntlet, right, to become an influential member. So I think I have a voice here. Y'all, the 90s wasn't the glory days. The 90s was a result of what they did to the brothers in the 70s and the 80s, right? And so I'm speaking for Larry and Jeff and those who were the founding members. If you go back and you read the literature and you read and you understand their thought process, when they did what they did, you'll understand they was no different than Martin Luther King. They was no different than Fred Hampton, right? It was all about their respective areas. Now, go and do your history and understand that the U.S. government, the same way they did everybody, infiltrated our brothers. They dangled that carrot in front of them the same way they did with the slaves that brought up the kings that sold out the slaves that was brought over here. And the mission came more about money than it did the people, because black people who was oppressed and suppressed for so long finally had an opportunity from the government. People, y'all got to educate yourself. The government put our black men and women on, right? And so here come the government saying, hey, we're going to make y'all partners. We're going to hook y'all up. Y'all going to be able to do things that you've never done before. The brothers failed, they slipped, and they went for it, right? And then they doubled back on them with the RICO Act and then told the narrative. This narrative that sister and everybody on here speaking about the brothers being monsters, Jeff and Larry and them, that's just not the truth. That's why they won't let these political prisoners out right now. They let terrorists out. They let people who blew up Americans out. Why do you think they won't let Jeff or Larry out? Because they know what their voice is. Their voice is peace, prosperity. It's always been that. They let the F-boys get in play and change the narrative like they do in Black America. The same reason y'all think these thoughts about Malcolm, the same reason he's not celebrated more than Martin, is because America and Chicago didn't want him to be. And so that story, Chicago's story, ain't never been told, to be quite honest. And I think that what you see now representing ECCSC is a reflection of Jeff, Larry, and those brothers who had this thought process of love, truth, peace, freedom, justice, life, loyalty, wisdom, knowledge, and understanding on their mind, not murder and mayhem. And then lastly, the murders of the 90s was members. It was not kids getting killed. Y'all remember the high profileness of when one child got shot and how long that went, right? And so the 90s was the reflection of people warring over drug spaces, right? And so it was the members getting killed of their respective organizations. It wasn't ladies, it wasn't babies, right? And so this is what you see now is a result of them locking up all the men, locking up all the influential members, throwing away the key. The war on drugs has always been a war on us. The war on guns has always been a war on us. And so I defend all of my founding fathers in all mob spaces because I met most of them and I know where their mindset is at. You're not finna glorify John Gotti and Al Capone and have tours and shit and then just continue to vilify Larry Hoover. So I'm gone, man. That's it. I love y'all. I appreciate this show. But the leaders are who lead, man. It don't matter. You telling me you're going to put the pastors over Larry? You're going to put Reverend Reis or the brother of Corey Brooks or somebody like that? I mean, who we going to have to lead? Because from where I stand, I would much rather them let Larry or Jeff out and listen to what they got to say than bring Jesse or one of these sellout-ass pastors to the table.
Greg, stop. Don't hang up. Greg, don't hang up.
Oh, all right. All right, my bad.
So, Greg, realistically, I don't believe that at this point, respectfully, after seeing all the guys that have returned home and the response, I don't know that they would still have the same level of influence. Do you believe that?
Not the same level.
Do you think they could organize what's going on?
Control the streets.
You do?
Yes, I do. I mean, there's a brother who just came home after 30 years on the west side. I ain't gonna mention his name just for the sake of it, but people who know, Black Men United. Y'all know about Black Men United. Look it up. Look at one of the founding members and look what he's doing with the west side. I mean, that's the person who they threw away, who was the founding member, who is now home, and his voice matters, and it matters in a significant way. That whole area is listening to his approach. And that's what happened when Kings walk, man. When we go places, people listen. It's just a difference that the government can't reach them, bro. These pastors can't reach them. That level of distrust is so deep embedded in our community and in our babies that you gotta go get the ones they listen to. So I agree. I think that if you let them brothers home, that they would have an instant impact, not just on Chicago, but the world in its entirety.
Okay. I appreciate your insight. See, that's what we got to do, y'all. We got to have these conversations, right? Where do we talk? Because I'm going to tell you, I would argue that, quite frankly, I would say that the most vociferous community right now is the ex-offender community. And going after what they believe is their components. I believe what's right for them. I don't know that there is an example. See, I don't know what attracts black men to being a part of most of the organizations today. I don't. I think that there's a space for the ECCSC, right? And I think that group speaks for the brothers that have gone away and come home. I think you got groups like New Era Chicago, Watch Guard, that have a space. I don't know right now that if you don't fit in one of those categories, that there's a space for you. Not perceivable. Not visually. And I think that's part of our challenge, because I think that we don't, like, all facets, we're not using all the facets of our community to fix us. So I think that, and I will argue that outside of, say, Malcolm X and Dr. King, like, when have you seen the only real examples of black men standing up, like, visibly, really comes out of those spaces? I think we see the preachers. I think we see politicians, but I think we see them capitulate. I think we see them bend over. I would tell you that the appeal to black men of any ilk is, with the street component, is you don't have to be bent over. And I think that is the attraction. I don't think that there are very many places that black men can go and be respected. And so we tend to either gravitate towards groups that have reputations that will garner some level of respect, whether it is your street organization, whether it is your fraternity, whether it is your Masons, whether it is your chess club, whatever it is, you gravitate towards something that will give you a level of respect in a world where you have limited to no respect. And I think that is the appeal to any of those organizations. I guess my challenge now is, what's the matter? You disagree with me? You fight me?
No, I agree with you. And where do black men learn how to be black men?
And that, to me, is the issue. Because I would argue that in some cases, you can only really teach what you know. You could talk about, you could hypothesize.
That's why they say a woman can't raise a man.
Yes. And so one of the challenges that I feel like we have is that when we have, you gotta round out the education, right? Like, cause realistically, even the guys that's gonna teach you, like, say the guys cuffed you on the block. Mm-hmm. They can really only teach you about the block. They can't teach you about escaping the block or building the block, right? That's not what they're going to teach you. They may teach you the rules of manhood, quote unquote, never, look a man in the eye, all of that good stuff. But they don't necessarily give you the tools to escape the situations that force you or that make you want to join those places. It's like you have an empathy group, you don't have an escape group. So, like, we all good. Like, hey, Joe, we gonna all band together and we gonna stay dope down here. And down here, we can rule. But up here where all the resources are, we don't even really have a path to that. So what we gonna do is we gonna own this space down here and dwell here. Never popping the top off the top. And then the people that are outside of it is like, well, man, shoot, if I go down there, they're going to be like, man, you ain't from the dirt. Regardless of whether you went to high school, you didn't have all the stuff, you acting white, you doing. And so there becomes this conflict of clash of, think about, even as we had these conversations, like the people that have the influence on the guys don't have respect for the guys that can help everybody get out. So the guy that can get out be like, you know what? I'm about to be around here getting talked about crazy by some people that, if left to their own devices, the police gonna get them. the prison gonna get them. They gonna do each other. I think about how we refer to each other. Remember last week and I was talking to you about like the words and timid and all of that stuff? Like all of these words that really don't ever bring us together. Like you as a, like I gotta tell you, like the appeal to any of these organizations is the same. It is nobody wants to be, well, some people are okay being loners, but nobody wants to be alone. They want to have a group that can help insulate them to fight against the challenges that they face in their particular universe. So if you ask why are people part of the MBA, the black MBAs, it's because they're under assault by white MBAs and they want to be able to, it's all the same. We find all of these organizations are founded along the same principles. We're somewhere in the universe and white people don't want us to exist. So if you ask the Association of Accountants, they would probably tell you the same story of instead of walking to school and the white boys didn't want them to go, they went to go to an accounting firm and all the white people ganged up on them and everybody was doing that. So they got together and they formed an organization. It's the same. But you won't credit it because what the nigga doing reading a book? And I think that once we start breaking down those barriers, like, oh, well, because your struggle wasn't you didn't have to fight somebody to get shot to go to school, you less than, that make you less black? That makes your blackness less than? Does that make your struggle less than? Uh-oh, we must be talking about something. Uh-oh. You got callers? All right, so look, we're going to take some calls, but before we do that, we're going to take a quick break. Hopefully, Facebook will come back, and then we will be back after these messages. The Maze Jackson Show.
The Maze Jackson Show will be back after this break.
WIIFTBPM. Broken screen? Crash system? Are you in need of spyware or virus removal from your computer? Well, contact RPC Computer Repair in South Shore and let us help you with all your computer repair services and print needs. Need office or print production services, copies, scans, fax, or even notary service? Then stop by and support RPC Computer Repair and Print Shop located 1741 East 71st Street in the 71st Street corridor, newly revitalized South Shore areas, and let RPC be your one-stop shop where we believe RPC is your PC. RPC Computer Repair is also a UPS access point where you can drop off and pick up your important packages. So let RPC be of service to you. Call RPC Computer Monday through Saturday, 8 a.m. through 6 p.m. at 773-966-4457. That's 773-966-4457. Visit RPC at rpccomputeringinc.com for more information.
And now, traffic and weather.
Good morning. What's in it for the Black People Media family? The time is now 8:33 a.m. And I'm Riis the Ruler with your Chicagoland area sports, traffic, and weather update. In sports, the Chicago White Sox pitchers Lucas Giolito would pitch 6 scoreless innings as the Sox beat the Indians 5-2. The Chicago Cubs will lose to the St. Louis Cardinals 4-2. In WNBA, the Chicago Sky, the number 6 seed, took on the number 3 seed Minnesota Lynx. The Sky will use balanced offense to beat the Lynx 89-76 to advance to the next round. The Justin Fields era started yesterday as the Bears and Browns were in action. Bad O-line and bad play calling will lead the Bears to a 26-6 loss. Maze Jackson lost the bathroom key. Now over to traffic on the Kennedy. O'Hare to the Loop is 42 minutes. Outbound to O'Hare will be 22 minutes. On the Eden, inbound from Deerfield to the Exchange will be 49 minutes. Exchange back to Deerfield will be 32. On the Eisenhower, Thorndale to the Loop, 66 minutes. Back out to Thorndale will be 38. On the Stevenson, from I-355 to the Dan Ryan is 60 minutes. Outbound will be 40. The Bishop Ford, I-80 to the Dan Ryan is 68 minutes. 28 minutes back out to I-80. The Dan Ryan is 24 minutes to the Loop, 16 minutes back out to 95th. DuSable Lakeshore Drive, 55th to Jackson is 16 minutes. Jackson back to 55th is 7. On the north side of things, Randolph to Bryn Mawr, and Bryn Mawr back to Randolph is 8 minutes. In weather, it is currently 70 and sunny. Expect a high of 84 with a low of 64. I'm Reese the Ruler. Now here's Terrorism on the Maze Jackson Show.
Domestic terrorism. Following a 100-day review, federal officials are now laying out a new plan hoping to deter, detect, and prosecute domestic terror.
They went to the Capitol waving their flags and looking for smoke. He was out there looking for justice. They was over there looking for votes. Ashley Babbitt was with him and told all the people that nothing could stop us. She climbed through the Capitol window, breaching security, and called a shot, bro. The media say she a veteran. They paint the picture to make her look greater. But she disrespected the same country that she served. That makes her a traitor. They was fighting police, resisting arrest. On God, I couldn't believe it. I guess blue lives only tend to really matter when it's convenient. Hey, these are the times we witness in history, all because they didn't get a victory. United States is so contradictory. We get equal rights, that's a mystery. Politicians, they more like magicians. You know they got tricks up their sleeve. We point out the flaws that's up in this country. You know they gonna tell us to leave. Somebody try to help me understand it. Always seems like a double standard. They be out here leaving us empty-handed to certain rights we are not granted. The media is the culprit when it comes to the comparison. Cause when it comes to race, they always changing up the narratives. Terrorism. They say you a patriot, call you a hero. I call it terrorism. And that's on the real. You know what we know, I say it's terrorism. They say you a patriot, call you a hero. I call it terrorism. And that's on the real. You know what we know, I say it's terrorism. They say you a patriot, call you a hero. I call it terrorism. And that's on the real. You know what we know, I say it's terrorism. They say you a patriot, call you a hero. I call it terrorism. We still out here trying to get our reparations, but the government pump faking out here hesitating. I'm out here trying to keep my peace, so I keep meditating. The media make us look bad, they taint our reputation. Look, it's so sad that COVID causing toe tags. You claim you so patriotic, but you ain't wearing no mask. You out here wilding with your MAGA flags and showing your ass. You wanna be part of some type of revolution so bad. Look, you talk revolution and constitutional rights only. I guess we forgot about back in the days when all of the business was whites only. Yeah. George Floyd got justice. Juneteenth got much respect. They made it a national holiday. Man, it's all good, but cut the check. They're giving out all of these vaccines, putting it in you like caffeine. Was it all in the part of the plan? I bet money like DraftKings. It's land of the free, home of the brave. 1776, we wasn't free till 1865, so we wasn't part of that shit. And
you are listening to the Maze Jackson Show. I'm your host, Maze Jackson. Got my co-host, Miss Ruthie Moore. Got my man, DJ Riis the Rule on the ones and twos. Shout out to the ladies of Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority, who raised more than $2.1 million in its latest fundraiser to benefit historically black colleges and universities. The Chicago-based International Sorority's annual HBCU Impact Day is part of a 4-year, $10 million fundraising goal to help promote HBCUs. Shout out to Kamala Harris, Vice President Kamala Harris, who has helped put the AKA headlines recently. She was from Howard University. Shout out to the AKAs and Kamala Harris, who's raised $2.1 million for scholarships because she fly down to Haiti, though. I mean, not to Haiti, to the southern border. Can she cry? Can she put on some Chucks and Tims and go stomp around for the black people? The H-dose. What's up? Oh, they still socializing. Ruthie over there, she over there making them Delta faces because she like they was having a she was like it's a part. They want to go to the party. They was like they don't want to be socially active. She kicking it. She like Kamala like, man, can we open up I will stop. No, I'm just playing, y'all. All right, let's go to the live line. What age did you become about that life? When should we take you seriously? Caller, you on the Maze Jackson Show.
I think that we should take our children serious as soon as they're born, right? Not just the fathers and the mothers, but the whole community. And then maybe the equation of that life wouldn't exist as much as we let it exist. I think that media has been telling us ever since the pimp era how black men should be. I don't think we should start this conversation like in the 80s and 90s, man. They've been attacking black men for years on top of years. And I think over the years we lost more influence in our community, and that's a bigger issue. But the fact that we got to ask, when should we take our children serious, period.
That's not what I said. That's not what I asked. I said, at what age do you become about that life, and what age should we take it seriously?
Okay, so what's that life? The street life, right? Why does the street life exist if people in the community were doing their part?
I think it starts at home, but I'll give it to you. I'll give you the community. I think it's a village. But what age do you think it starts? Like, what age you got to catch them? Did I lose him? Caller? All right, let's go to the next call. Caller, you on the Maze Jackson Show. What age do you become about that life? Caller?
Hello?
Hello? I hear you. What's up, caller?
Yeah. So, like you say, they start from home. You about that life when you really in those streets, say about 9 or 10, third grade, it really starts happening because you got these middle schoolers and these cats going to high school having to prove something. So you always gonna pick on the little people. And just like, for example, I'm about middle school. The foes over there on what is that? Over there off North Avenue, pistol whipped me and my cousin over some bikes. So it was from that time where we had to defend ourselves. So that's when it starts. You know what I'm saying? It's a as they say, the circle of life. It's a vicious cycle. And yeah, like the other caller said earlier, man, it's a bunch of mess go down, and we have to be accountable for the mess that we did. You can't glorify this. You got to know your effect on people and the effect that the things that you do. You know what I'm saying? I never was no heavy gang banging dude. Never will be. You know, but I know these people. I've done things with these people, some stuff I never should have been in the part of. But like I say, most of this stuff, it come from people trying to survive in whatever area they're in. All right.
Thank you. Like, what age does it start? I remember, so I'm going to tell y'all. When I first moved to, well, not first, when I was living in Chicago, in second grade, we was the Black Diamonds. Right? Like, at second grade, we decided that, I remember sitting in the alley off of 514 East 62nd Street, me, Lawrence, Timmy, and one other person. And we said, because it was Blackstones, I believe, in the area. And we said we was finna be the Black Diamonds. That was our name. And we walked around and we had our cut off little now this was before third grade. Now we didn't whoop on nobody, but we did grab a couple bikes. Right? We did stick together. I moved to Bolingbrook. I remember, do y'all remember when the movie The Warriors came out? All the black people at the school, all was either Warriors or Renegades. The school split, and every day it was a fight. Every day it was a fight, and it was the Warriors versus the Renegades. Somebody was getting whooped. Then I remember when Section 8 came to Bolingbrook, and everybody who had grown up that claimed folks are vice lords, but we was all together against Joliet. Well, when the Bolingbrook people when the people from the city came, all that changed up, and it got real, like real. Like, people started getting shot at. People started jumping on people. I remember when, it's some stories, but I guess I gotta ask you, like, when do we take it seriously? Because I gotta tell you, I believe somewhere in black men's rites of passage, that hard phase comes through. Where you don't want to just, and something about it is you just don't want to be like a lame. Like, you just don't want to be taken advantage of. You want to be a part of something that, like, yo. And that sense of belonging, I don't think it ever goes away. I think even when you see men I see 50-something-year-old men sitting in an informational about how to become a member of Phi Beta Sigma, I'll be like, you 50. But that longing for black male camaraderie, that longing for a connection, that longing to be a part of something, that even as you got to go face the battles of the world, don't go away because of your age. It may be based on your peer group and what you see, but that black men band together, and I do think that there are similarities, but I gotta ask you, have we turned that into positive? Can we turn that into something positive? See, I feel like we glorify these days, but it's with an asterisk. It's like we talk about all of these things, but the fact of the matter is every single one of these things organizations have gotten together because black men didn't have a way to protect themselves from the forces. Now, your forces may be the man. It may be police. It may be the White Accounting Association. But all of these organizations have been formed for some level of protection, some level. So why is I just feel like we got to bring them together because I be sitting around and I listen to people talk crazy and figuring out ways to divide us. Well, if Jeff Fort and everybody else who wasn't Jeff and Larry they was just a bum. No. Like there are great stories of black men who have been strong. Black men fight every single day to get, y'all love Furious Styles in Boys in the Hood. He was fighting every day for his son. I was just thinking about this because Ruthie, I got stopped in the car a couple times. It took me a couple run-ins to eventually say that I needed to break the hard mode. And my idea of being a black man wasn't built around me having to whoop somebody's ass physically. Because I put all the tools in the toolbox to destroy you. What my man say? Best thing I could do is not build with you. Right? And so I think we got to get out of that space because can I tell you what? If we think that it's going to come down to physical cuz, we going to lose. We ain't got the most guns. You ain't got the training. You ain't got no army. Right? People tell us organic. We got to start figuring out how do we link instead of trying to figure out who ain't good enough. This person ain't lived enough trauma to be able to. Perhaps did you ever think that the least trauma might give you the most functional way to exist? Right? Like, you ever think the dude that didn't have to walk uphill both ways, didn't have to shoot his way through school, like, he might be the most well-developed, the most equipped to move forward? See, I just think we do more division of people, of ourselves, even though we have more in common. And that's unfortunate. You know, it's funny. I be watching black people argue. They be arguing about who had it the worst. White people be arguing. They be like, shoot, we went on 17 vacations a year.
Part of that is because they get to come up off of their come up out of their street organizations and pass it along as generational wealth.
I'm with you on that.
And because we can't do that, it's like we keep starting over.
Man, I remember I had $20 million. Then I started back to zero.
It's like we keep starting over.
It's the Maze Jackson show, y'all. This has been a good one. We got callers? We got anybody on the line? Give us a call, 872-259-7474. I'll talk to you. Who's on there? Caller?
Caller, are you there?
Yeah. Maze.
Yes.
What up? This next, bro.
What? Wait, who? Hold on. This not the one and only. Can you give him some background music? Play it low key under him, cause you know we honored to have the one and only Loch Ness Monster on the live line. He must have what your name is must have told you. You better get on that call. What's up, Ness? Hey, in case y'all don't know, this is my man Ness underneath playing. This is Terrorism playing underneath it. What's up, bro?
What up, man? It's Ruthie. Riis, what's popping, man? I just wanted to, I rarely get the call, so I want to speak on this whole gang stuff, man, because we do got an asterisk on it, and I'm going to tell you why. But first, to answer your question, I went to Paul Revere in Pocket Town. By the time teachers was teaching sex ed around 9, 10, 11, shorties was banging. The Breeze, the G's, they was in it. People were shaking up. Everybody was claiming what they wanted to claim by the time he was 19 years old. So I say around that time is when you need to check on the shorties because they starting to develop. Once the puberty started to come in,
all the other influences gonna come with that. So I say that to say 9 through 12, I say is probably the most influential time to figure out what you're gonna do as far as campaign. Now I spoke earlier. I said Larry Hoover and Jeff Ford and all the leaders. And here's why. And I'm gonna stand on that. Anybody that want to challenge me on that, whatever, I don't care. Here's why it happened. So yeah, I get it. The 60s and 70s. Yeah, all the breakfast intervention programs was created, and all the structure was done to help the neighborhoods and get government funding and all that. But once we got baited, once we took the drugs, once we took the money, started creating territory, making money, and then going to war with each other, here come the trickle down effect babies, which was me. I'm an 80s baby, 90s crazy. I was in the streets where you couldn't wear your hat to the left. You couldn't wear red and black. You couldn't wear a Duke Blue Devils jacket. You couldn't wear Dallas Cowboys with a 5-point star on your back. You couldn't wear blue shoestrings with red shoes.
The magic hat.
None of the stuff that was, you couldn't wear no magic hat. You couldn't have a Green Bay Packers with a G on your head. So that's the trickle down effect of the monstrosity that was created from the gang structure once the drugs and the money got involved. Because what happens when drugs start selling and money started getting involved? Territory created. Are you interfering with my territory now is war. Now you couldn't go nowhere. Only thing you could wear back in the day was a Michigan Wolverines coat, maybe a Miami Hurricanes jacket. Other than that, anything else you couldn't wear. Colors, shoestrings, a rolled up pants leg. So that was the result of all what was created. I understand the intent of it. Yeah, the intent was to help the community, and it was there. But once that drugs and money got in there, everything turned to shit, and that's just what it is. So take the asterisk off and let's take accountability full force. Go on Chicago Tribune online and look up the 90 homicides from 91 to 2000. When the Bulls were still winning championships, it was at least on average 700 to 800 homicides a year. And that was all from gang life. I've been to hella funerals, seen hella homies over on 71st and Oakwood Cemetery. I lost count. So let's just take full accountability. I understand the historic aspect. I know that. I can chop it up with you all day. But the monstrosity that was created, let's take accountability for. I'm out.
All right, man. Ness, we had Ness call in. I feel some kind of way. Y'all done woke up the dragon. I gotta y'all remember does anybody remember when San Antonio had the was it San Antonio? Oh no, the Mariners hat with the pitchfork on it. Whew. Yo, I mean, it was so much stuff you couldn't wear. And remember the starter jacket era? Oh, don't get a starter jacket. Oh, you was getting took. Go to the line. We got any other calls, Reis? Anybody else on that line? All right, y'all. Deep, man. I feel like I think that is our rites of passage, though. Like somewhere in the space of this, I feel like the hard phase is somewhere in the that hard phase is almost like your rites of passage that if you don't go to jail, you make it. If you do, then they just call it an extended rites of passage because a lot of people think it's expected. Mm-hmm. Like, I gotta tell you, the lack of concern about going to jail or the normalness of it is a challenge for us. That's not normal, guys.
Well, when the system created it that way, it wasn't normal.
Right. And I feel as though we got to define what our history is going to be. I
think first we got to understand.
Y'all need to watch 13 tonight. Go ahead. Anyway.
I think first we need to understand how psychologically ingrained this stuff is.
It is unbelievably psychologically
and how
ingrained.
We keep passing it down to our children. Yeah. And then it becomes normalized. From the music to the imagery. We keep passing this stuff down. Our need for consumption. Like all of these things play a part in it. And then it's kind of like we've been asleep at the wheel And then when the baby got the gun in your face, still in your car, you like, oh, what is going on? But we've been asleep at the wheel.
I'm with you on that.
And it's kind of like we are literally right now at a point where we got to do something. I don't think we can really rely on nobody. Like, we got to do something. Now, what that something is, that's the $1 million question. But we the ones, they got to do something. And again, you know how fractured and divided we are as a community. So if the quote unquote positive elements of our community are fractured and divided, do we really then look at the street organizations? They super fractured and divided.
Let's go to the live line. We got one more call. Caller Mike, you on the Maze Jackson show? Ooh, ouch. Mike.
Good morning. How's everybody doing?
Great.
Good morning. Good. Yeah, I was wanting to get some input about the games. I grew up back in the 60s and 70s over there on 83rd Street around the Foster Park area. And right there on 79th Street, 83rd there, you had your games. You had your Stones on one side and your G's on the other side. I mean, they fought, they jumped, they did a little shooting, but it wasn't a thing where people were forced to join. I mean, somehow I don't know, by the grace of God, I stayed away from it and I ducked it all, and I'm 61 years old and damn sure if I'm gonna join the game now. Come on, but I know I was just trying to show you the different. Chicago is so divided with games. It's just you have your now when you go up north there, you have your gaylords, your warlords, your Crown Vics, and all the neighborhoods in Chicago is somewhere in Chicago. I think there's a game there, and a lot of games I never even heard of. I worked in the sheriff's department, and tons of them I never even heard of. But that's all I want to give an input on.
Thanks, Mike. I appreciate that, man.
All right.
Yeah, man.
Ness said something I think is something important.
Go ahead.
And it was about the correlation between puberty, and it being too late. And our children, girls, boys, are experiencing puberty at much younger ages than they used to back in the day.
I was just thinking about that because I sure didn't get here. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
So
I was like, when?
So because our children are experiencing puberty at younger ages, some people correlate it to the food that we eat. Some people correlate it to just the high pressure and stress environments that we live in. But young people are experiencing puberty at younger ages.
I feel like black people are feeling black. No, and let me ask, because I guess I do, because I do feel like, man, yeah, okay, we had an event and there was a 14-year-old girl at the event, and I was like, you need to go put some clothes on, and it's ridiculous. And I do feel like there is something,
it might be environmental, it might be psychological, I'm not sure, but I just know that young people are experiencing puberty at younger ages. And so if you experience puberty at younger ages, what's gonna happen? So
because when you're in puberty, you are a mess. You're nuts. You're crazy. I don't like puberty kids.
It's nature.
They suck.
So so when you think about that, we got young kids doing adult things. Like, so when you experience that level of sexual maturity, but your mind ain't where it needs to be, it's a cauldron that creates an environment.
Not cauldron.
It's a cauldron, because now you got to start thinking about the relationships between young boys and young girls, and now it creates a cauldron where you have to do intervention earlier and earlier. Now we could talk about what that looks like, A, B, C, X, Y, and Z, but I'm trying to tell you some of the best intervention that I've seen is related to comprehensive health education that includes sex, drugs, emotions, eating, all of these things. And our young people, they need that at a younger and younger age. And a lot of them ain't getting it at home, because how do you talk to your kids about sex? How do you, so
hey,
that's why I spilled
stop it.
That's why I spilled it.
Please, because I'll be like, whoa.
So these are conversations that we ain't necessarily having with our children, but guess where they getting it from? The internet. That's why all this stuff goes together. Like,
should we shut the internet off for the kids? Can we take the kids off Instagram? Could we?
You see they doing it in China.
Man, China ain't
y'all
playing
pay
with y'all.
attention to some of the social changes that China are implementing.
And they said you can't watch and play no video games neither.
From Bitcoin down to the video games. Y'all better pay attention to what China is doing to reshape their society. And y'all can, and it'll clue y'all in.
And they getting rid of girly boys.
From Bitcoin.
They straight up getting ready to take y'all joints.
They getting rid of they are getting rid of the private tutors. Like, they are regulating their society.
Wait, private tutors?
Yes. If China is regulating their private tutors to kind of level the playing field.
So y'all can't be teaching them that crazy American stuff. Cause I'm just telling y'all, hey, y'all saw China was like, hey, ain't no more, what's the K-pop video boys? Ain't no more metrosexual in China. They building monsters. Meanwhile, hey, you know what I was thinking about puberty being so much younger too? You know how they say we adapt to society if we die younger? Then you remember like back in the day in agrarian societies, as I'm using agrarian societies because that's something Salim would say. But they would marry the girls off young because one, they didn't want to have to feed them, but two, because she might not live that long, so they wanted to get the babies out as quick as they could.
I mean, this might be scientifically, like young girls are having their menstrual cycles earlier, particularly young black girls. And like, it ain't really something that I don't really see too many people really talking about it. Like, I talk about it with other like women and things like that, but that's something that we got to pay attention to, because if you can
reproduce, Handmaid's Tale.
It's 9:00.
Don't be doing that to me.
This is a lot for me.
Okay. All right. So then on that note.
It's a lot.
On that note, I'm going to relieve the burden. We're going to take some of the pressure off. Riis, we need a steam valve that goes
for real,
so we can let the air out. All right, this is the Maze Jackson Show. We didn't cover nothing on this damn paper.
Yes, we did.
But I love when we have shows like this and they carry so strongly, because y'all done hung all the way to 154, all the way to the end. Wait, who won today? Who won between YouTube and Facebook? We can't see right now because YouTube probably done started tipping off. But I'm just curious. We're going to start doing this every day. This is the Maze Jackson Show. I am. No, you can't see it. They dropped off on us. All right, it's the Maze Jackson Show. Blessed be. Huh? 2? YouTube won again. Facebook, YouTube getting in y'all butts. Y'all better. Oh, let me not say that. I don't want that to be politically incorrect. YouTube has placed ahead of Facebook again. We will continue these conversations. This is the Maze Jackson Show. So for Maze and Riis and young Ruthie and her Poiple, is that Poiple? I am the host of the Maze Jackson Show, asking every single day, what's in it for the black people? And if you don't like it, you can still tell them. Maze said, we out of here. Peace.
Let's get down to business and go ahead and address the facts, man. Lightfoot seems more lesbian than black. Rahm Emanuel's another case. He was just as tired. 50 closed schools left much to be desired. Police had Internet naked on that body cam. They suppressed the footage so it couldn't touch a lot of hands. Reminds me of that 16 shots in that cover up.
Hey, Von Roland, don't be around here saying, all right, folks, this is the people station. This is the people station. What you talking about around here? This is the people station.
Need a prescription and plus a couple groceries.
That's what I told you. I can always tell you if you're on the south side. If you're on the south side, they be like, what's in it for the black folks? So you can tell Ness what's in it for the black. It ain't never said what's in it for the black folks nowhere. Oh, nothing we got. But they be trying to call us folks. All right, y'all, it's the Maze Jackson Show. Peace.
Government infested black neighborhoods with crack smoke. System that milked us so bad we got lactose. Still trying to find out what's in it for us black folks. We sing, dance, play ball, entertain, and crack jokes. Government infested black neighborhoods with crack smoke. System that milked us so bad we got lactose. Still trying to find out what's in it for us black folks. Shout out to Willie Wilson. Hope one day you get to send it. We need some different players in the game to handle business. Too many shady characters like Madigan and Blago. But when you really break it down, it's typical Chicago. City full of gangsters. what the land was built on. Same streets with hood legends, DNA get spilled on. Carjackers out here lurking, trying to get they steal on. Looking for a block to put them Hellcat wheels on. Let us give bogus appraisals a red line. Car crackers out here getting minimal fair time. And up the sealed carry, I stay with the pipe. But Illinois gun laws giving minimal rights. Stay up on the swivel, make sure I'm moving tight. Check all of my mirrors when I pull up to the light. Pick my homie up from out of town, man, he caught a flight. He was hella nervous, told him, shorty, this is a way of life. We sing, dance, play ball, entertain, and crack jokes. Government infested black neighborhoods with crack smoke. System that milked us so bad, we got lactose. Still trying to find out what's in it for us black folks. We sing, dance, play ball, entertain, and crack jokes. Government infested black neighborhoods with crack smoke. System that milked us so bad, we got lactose. Still trying to find out what's in it for us black folks.